In this year, we're going to see deep fake so real, you cannot tell the difference. People watching this on live stream, they will not know what's in here.
We're not here.
We're having dinner somewhere else. So to counter that, you need some form of digital watermark. That is actually a cryptographic evidence
that this is real.
Yeah. It's my signature, his signature.
Who puts that? The tech companies? By the way, they're so excited at the back. They're trading crypto on the back of all these comments.
It's all your fault. No, we control our private key. It's going to be public
It'll
key.
be personal.
We'll have control.
It's going to be like your irises, your fingerprints. It'll be a digital.
But it's stored on blockchain.
Yeah.
Witnessed by the global population.
Everybody knows.
Cannot be faked.
Yeah. But does this change everything for just capital markets?
It will. Yeah. I mean, my gosh, if we could tokenize bonds and stocks tomorrow, one of the great things that BlackRock is being accused of is how much vote we have. I wouldn't vote anymore because we would be able, through tokenization, to know the owner of record instantaneous, and each owner of record will do their proxy voting. I would love that outcome. No, but it would democratize investing in all ways that we can't imagine.
Even political systems, how you vote in a country can be changed by that.
And do you think that, again, the Trump administration will accelerate that?
I think they're moving that direction. How far they actually will go remains to be seen.
But if you do have a digital validator, like your fingerprints or your irises, I mean, you could tokenize voting. You could do everything. And so it will change how we think and how we live and what we do. And
we've been talking to some Southeast Asian governments, including Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia. All of them historically have the populations who are treating black market, bitcoins, and what have you. But now the governments are realizing U.S. is driving a global policy shift. So they're now doing something very clever. They're saying, you know what, we're going to issue a new form of digital ID to every single citizen. Along with that is a digital wallet.
Which Brazil,
that's when people
Brazil and India has already done.
You're both so
There are two questions, and I have a third issue that I think, Ruben, you need to address. But let me start with the questions you have raised. I think first the issue of INEC. I think everybody is fairly aware that INEC, as presently constituted, has lost a lot of credibility. And it is very important that the institution gains this credibility. Otherwise, the stability of the country is going to be threatened, because when you have institutions that are not delivering, and especially a key institution like INEC, and if this failure continues, then it will erode not only, confidence in INEC, but confidence in democracy itself. And when that happens, you know the consequences. So let me come back to INEC. I think there are amendments that the whole country is waiting for. For example, that amendment, which I think late President Buhari refused to give assent to, which mandates INEC to use electronic tools and to use technology in delivering the result, is still pending. But more importantly, why should the president, whoever is the president of the country, who is an interested party in the election, be the one to propose the head of INEC? I think late Uwais committee has made very good recommendations, which have been blocked by those who are interested in manipulating INEC. I think we have to rescue INEC by making sure that the head of INEC is not appointed by a sitting president who is going to be interested in election. So there are a number of things that needs to be done. I'm not sure there is sufficient time for us to raise that, but I think the key issues are two. One, that INEC's credibility is at stake, and two, we have got to insulate INEC from political interference. If that doesn't happen, then it is the democracy that is holding the country that's being actually run down. And when that happens, there are consequences. The second question, if I remember correctly, which you raised, is where do we go from here? I mean, considering what former President Jonathan said. And I think it ties down with the issue that I really think you should be raising, because the whole gathering in Accra is around the crisis of democracy, that democracy is not delivering the expectations of the people. And in Nigeria, if you take the statistics from 1999 to date, that's about 25 years. If you take the indices of development, whether you are taking the paternal and maternal mortality rates, or if you are taking the GDP, the growth in the economy, if you are taking all the indices of development that you take, you will see that from 1999 to date, we have been going down the drain. In fact, the GDP for this year is said to be much lower, actually about less than half of what it was in 1960. In other words, this country, under this democracy, is actually going down the drain. And it is time to really ask, of what use, of what benefit is democracy if it cannot really deliver? Is democracy made for the people or people for democracy? If democracy is supposed to serve society, then it has failed in Nigeria. And it is time to start thinking of how do we really bring about a system that can work for us. I watched the debate from beginning to the end, and I was saddened by the fact that the elite that gathered there could not think out of the a box of Western frame of thinking. In other words, they were all, and especially the guest speaker himself, he was going round and round while admitting the failure of democracy. He was still saying that we should stick to democracy. And that doesn't make sense. I mean, you have admitted that this system has failed to deliver. And you are saying that we should still hang on to it.
That is our job. We don't run government, we don't run policies, but we have the intellectual capacity to frame a conversation. You understand? Let me now conclude by making you sad. The Nigerian Civil War was planned on the campus of the University of Ibadan. Somebody has to write a book on that, in which the Vice Chancellor, a prominent historian, you already know I'm talking about, was also using his house to frame the project of the Civil War. You understand? And I'm not criticizing him, because when you cut segments of a conversation, it becomes a problem to those who are interpreting it. I'm not criticizing him. The Nigerian Civil War was led by an educated person who trained in England, one of the very first to have a degree to join the Nigerian army. The debates about Ironsi was framed for him by those who went to school on a unitary government. You understand? It is not that these intellectuals have not been talking, but they are also embedded in this very project you want to solve. So in the final analysis, you see how interest governs politics. And as interest drives politics, the very fact that you have a PhD doesn't mean you will think the way you are talking about. And let us talk
To barka da warhaka Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
Barka da zuwa.
Yawwa. Kuna cikin shirye-shirye sai ga shi hukumar zaɓe ta Najeriya ta fitar da sanarwa inda ta ce za ta daina amincewa da shugabancin David Mark a matsayin shugaban jam'iyyar ADC. Ya kaji da wannan sanarwa?
Ba wani abin mamaki ya ciki a Najeriya. Me ba mu gani ba. Amma kuma haka doka ya faɗa ba haka ba ne. Abin doka ya faɗa cewa mu shaida wa hukumar zaɓe ga abubuwan da muke so mu yi, ga tarurrukan da muke so. In sun sami lokaci da mutane su zo, in ba su samu lokaci ba muna iya ci gaba da harkokinmu.
Wasu na ganin cewa wannan kusan kamar laifinku ne, ganin cewa akwai ƙararraki a kotu, saboda haka nan ku ne ba ku warware matsaloli na cikin gida ba na jam'iyyarku. Shin wannan ba babban dalili ba ne da hukumar zaɓe za ta ce ba za ta amince da shugabancinku ba? Su ce
to ai akwai gardama akan yadda suka ba da bayani kan abin da kotu ta faɗa. Abin da kotu ta faɗa ko kuma kotun appeal ta faɗa shine a mai da magana zuwa kotu na farko, kuma a tsaya inda ake kafin a kai mata ƙara. Ma'ana yadda shugabancin jam'iyya yake a lokacin da aka kawo ƙara ya koma ya zamanto haka. Abin da lauyoyi suka faɗa kenan ai.
To yanzu wace matsaya kuka ɗauka? Za ku ci gaba da taro ko kuwa?
Za mu ci gaba da taronmu na siyasa, ba za mu tsaya ba. Amma mun koma ga kotu na farko, wanda dama inda shari'an take ita ce yanzu za ta yanke hukunci.
Jam'iyyar PDP ta yi taro, amma har yanzu tana ta fama da rigingimu, kotu ta ce ba amince da wancan ran ba. Kuna ganin za ku yi ɗauki wannan kasar?
Akwai bambanci tsakaninmu da PDP. Su PDP suna da PDP guda biyu ne ko uku, mu kuma jam'iyya guda muke da ita.
Amma akwai ɗaya bangaren yana cewa shi ne ke da jagorancin shugabanci.
Bangare ai gashi mun nuna a kotu ba dama ba da wani matsayi, ya riga ya yi murabus. Kuma gashi mun nuna ga kuma ita jami'ar zaɓe ta karɓa ta yadda ta amince.
Amma ya fito ya bayyana cewa wannan takardar da ake yadawa ba gaskiya ba ce.
To ai waɗanda suke duba ko gaskiya ne ba gaskiya ba za su je su ba da shaida.
Wasu jam'iyyu sun fara yi muku tayi na ku shiga saboda halin da ita jam'iyyar ADC take ciki. Shin akwai yiwuwar za ka shiga wata jam'iyyar?
A wace jam'iyya ne ba rikici ne? A wace jam'iyya? Ba bambancin ra'ayi ko rikici. Ko jam'iyyar da take mulki ita ma da tana da rikicin ta bambancin ra'ayi. Wannan ba wani sabon abu bane a demokradiyya.
Saboda haka ba ku da niyyar.
Me yasa kuke mai da abu wanda bai isa abun mayar ba ko yan jarida?
Ba ku da niyyar kila ba ku tunanin ko amfani da wata jam'iyya idan har ba a warware waɗannan matsaloli da ADC take fama da su
ba wani laifin da muka yi. Mun tabbata za mu samu jam'iyyar mu.
Kuna na ci wannan jam'iyyar?
A dinke.
Kuma za ku ci gaba da batun zaben shugabanni?
Insha Allah.
Akwai waɗanda ke ganin cewa jam'iyyar tana cika tana batsewa, musamman da shigan su Rabi'u Kwankwaso da sauransu a cikin jam'iyyar da irin su Peter Obi. Ana ganin kamar yiwuwar tsayawar ka takara tana ƙara raguwa. Shin ya kake gani?
Ba magana wanda takara muke yanzu ba, muna magana gina jam'iyya ne. Ai sai ka gina jam'iyya tukun kafin ka yi takara.
Har yanzu ba ku gama gina jam'iyya kenan?
Ba mu gama ba, muna kai.
Ya kuke son
sai mun gama zaɓuɓɓukan nan duka.
Sai idan kun gama zaɓuɓɓuka. Shin ka yanke shawarar yin takara ko kuwa har yanzu baka yanke ba?
Wannan ba zan baka ansa ba.
Yanzu haka jami'ar APC tana da jihohi wurin 31 gwamnoni. Sannan a majalisa, idan ka duba a majalisar dokoki ta ƙasa, ita take da rinjaye, gagarumin rinjaye. Shin kana ganin kada Tinubu abu ne mai yiwuwa?
Shi ya fi sauƙi ma.
Ta yaya zai fi sauƙi mutumin da yake da wannan rinjaye?
Ka jira zuwa lokacin, to gwamnati suke zabe ba jama'a suke zabe ba. Waye wanda baya jin wahalan abin da ƙasa take ciki yanzu? Marigayi ya faɗa jiki magayi.
Ya rage ga 'yan Najeriya kenan.
Kwarai da gaske, kuma na sani za su tashi su yi abin da ya kamata. Ina tabbatar da 'yan Najeriya za su yi.
Kwanan nan an kai hari, mummunan hari a Jos, sannan Boko Haram tana ta kai hare-hare a Borno. Shin menene kake ganin gwamnati ba ta yi ba yadda ya kamata da har aka kasa magance wannan matsala?
Ba Borno kawai ba hare-hare, za ka ce duk jihohin arewa bayan da ba a kaiwa hare-hare da 'yan ta'adda da sauransu, musamman ma jihohin arewa baki daya za ka ce, ba kawai da Borno ko abin nan ba. Ni a nawa gani na shine ya kamata gwamnatin tarayya da farko ta ƙara ɗaukan ma'aikatan jami'an tsaro, sannan a koya musu aiki, a ba su kayan aiki. In dai jami'an tsaro na Najeriya za su yi yakin basasan Najeriya a cikin kurmi, sannan a ce zai gagari jami'an tsaro in suna da kayan aiki kuma suna da yawa. Wannan ba magana ba ne. Akwai rashin shugabanci. Ni a nawa gani akwai rashin shugabanci.
This year, we opened 2 new restaurants while running, how many?
5 others.
5 other restaurants.
Amma fatana da addu'ana shine duk shugabanni.
To barka da warhaka Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
Kowace jam'iyya ce halin da ƙasar nan take ciki da wannan jam'iyya tamu da demokradiyya bai kamata shi ya zama shi ne kadangaren bakin tuba. Abinda ya ɗauko halin yanzu na tabbata ba zai taimake shi ba zai taimaki ADC da yake sanya shugabanta ba za ta taimaki Najeriya ba za ta taimaki demokradiyya ba. A nan nake kira ga dukkanin al'umma musamman wanda suka gan shi, wanda ni na kasa ganinsa, da su ba shi shawara ta kirki. Wannan shawara ko ita ce ya cire hannunsa daga cikin wannan tsari na kawo kalubale ga wannan tafiya tamu.
A wannan karan injiniya Rabi'u Musa Kwankwaso yana da sha'awar tsayawa takara ta shugaban kasa a jam'iyyar nan ta ADC?
Mu babban abin da ya dame mu ma ba wai ni lalle in shiga ba. A'a, abin da ya dame mu shine waye zai yi kuma zai iya kuma ya zai tafiyar da abubuwansa. Wannan shi za mu fi zura ido a kai domin tabbatar da cewar in Allah ya sa da jama'iyya aka zaɓe ta, to ba rinka cewa ai gara ma wacce ta wuce ba.
Tun bayan da Peter Obi ya ziyarce ka a Mila Road a gidanka da ke Kano, ana ganin kamar alaka tana ƙara kyawu tsakaninka da shi. Idan har maslaha ta kai ga ta jam'iyyar nan taku ta ADC cewa za ka yi masa mataimakin shugaban ƙasa, ya yi maka ta yi, za ka karɓa ku yi wannan takara tare da shi?
To me yasa baka ce Amaechi ba? Me yasa baka ce Atiku Abubakar ba? Me yasa kake maganar Peter Obi?
Yayin da mutane daban-daban suke shigowa jam'iyyar ku ta ADC da tafiyar kwankwasiya, wasu suna cewa sai kun bi a hankali. Idan ma zan aro kalmominka, kar ku yadda misali wasu su zo su ku da kanku ku sanya kunama a wandon ku.
Ai mu ba ma tsoron harin kunama. Mu sa ta muke a inda duk ba a zato. Amma duk ka gani tarihi ya nuna in ta tashi harbin aikanta take harba.
Jama'a barkamu da wannan lokaci, da fatan kuna cikin ƙoshin lafiya. Da wannan karan muna tare da tsohon ɗan takarar shugaban ƙasa, tsohon gwamna, kuma tsohon sanata a tarayyar Najeriya, kuma jagora ko kuma madugun siyasar kwankwasiya Dr. Rabi'u Musa Kwankwaso. Kuma za mu tattauna da shi akan halin da sabuwar jam'iyyar da ya shiga ta ADC ke ciki, da ma halin da ake ciki a siyasar jihar Kano. Ya Excellency, barka da ba mu wannan dama mu tattauna da kai a karin farko bayan da ka shiga wannan jam'iyya ta ADC.
To Zaradin da duka jama'a, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Wannan tattaunawa kusan za a iya cewa ita ce babbar tattaunawa da kai tun bayan da ka shiga sabuwar jam'iyyar ADC. Mutane da dama na san za su so su ji me za ka ce dangane da wannan tafiya. Mu fara da dalilin shiga ita wannan tafiya ta ADC, kamar ko za ku yi wa 'yan Najeriya bayanin irin roman da kuke sa ran samu a ADC yanzu da ka shiga?
To, alhamdulillah ina so in fara da godiya ga Allah, kuma in gode wa dukkanin al'ummar Najeriya, musamman 'yan arewa da jihar Kano, waɗanda tun da muka shiga cikin wannan jama'iyya suke ta tururuwa suna shiga cikinta. Yanzu mutane bila adadin sun shiga sun rijista, kuma rijista tana ci gaba. Birni da ƙauye da garuruwa ko ina a ƙasar nan jama'a suna ta shiga. Wannan ya nuna mana cewar dimokuraɗiyya tana aiki. Wannan ya nuna mana cewar masoya suna nan gabar da yamma, kudu da arewa a wannan ƙasa tamu. Waɗansu ma da ike ana yin rijista ne ta yanar gizo suna ta yi daga ƙasashen duniya domin tabbatar da cewar sun nuna soyayyarsu ga wannan jama'iyya. To wannan abin alfahari ne da jin daɗi a gurina da kuma duka 'yan wannan jama'iyya ta ADC da ma 'yan Najeriya ga baki ɗaya, ganin wannan yana daɗa inganta harkar dimokuraɗiyya a wannan ƙasa tamu. Kuma wannan jama'iyya da muka shige ta, ina ganin ta zama mana alheri, ta zama wa ƙasa alheri, domin wasu da yawa suna zaton ba ma za mu iya zuwa mu haɗu daga waɗansu cikin manyan 'yan siyasa ba da suke wannan ƙasa. To alhamdulillahi ga shi Allah ya sa mun shiga, kuma wannan ya ƙarfafa zumuncin da yake tsakaninmu da su da magoya bayanmu ga baki ɗaya. Yanzu Najeriya ta zama musamman wannan jama'iyya tamu ta samu zama tsintsiya maɗaurinmu ɗaya, wanda ike abubuwa suna tafiya cikin jin daɗi da kwanciyar hankali. Saboda haka muna godiya ga Allah, kuma muna nan a cikin wannan jama'iyya muna ci gaba da aikace-aikacen da ya dace a yi, kuma jama'iyya tana daɗa bunƙasa. A nan nake kira ga dukkanin masoya dimokuraɗiyya da su shiga cikin wannan jama'iyya tamu domin yaɗa da faɗaɗa harkar dimokuraɗiyya a wannan ƙasa tamu Najeriya.
Ka ce kuna cikin wannan jam'iyya ta ADC daram, a kuma daidai lokacin da hukumar zaben Najeriya ta ce za ta daina mu'amala da shugabancin jam'iyyar ko gaba ɗaya har sai abin da kotu ta gaba ta ce, bisa wato dalilai na shari'a da kuku umarni na kotu. Kamar to da me kuka dogara in har za ku ci gaba da wato shirye-shirye a cikin wannan jam'iyya baya ga kuma ita INEC da ta ce ku dakata?
To ai ita INEC ai jama'an Najeriya take wa aiki, ba wani take wa aiki ba. Misali kaga ai kwanan nan ta zo ta ce dukkaninmu mu je mu sake yin katinmu na zaɓe, wanda da yawa muka ce wannan ba daidai ba ne, kuma su ma suka duba suka ga hakan ba daidai ba ne, kuma suka yi kwana suka gyara, kuma jama'an Najeriya sun ji daɗi sun yi murna. Wannan ma ina so in tabbatar maka da cewar wannan abin da suka yi na cire wa'annan shugabanni namu na ADC daga cikin yanar gizo ɗinsu, ni ina ganin magana ce ta lokaci, domin su da kansu za su ganin gaskiyar da take a ƙasa, kuma za su gyara. Kuma wannan jama'iyya in Allah yarda za ta ci gaba da bunƙasa, kuma in Allah yarda muna sa rai wannan jama'iyya ita ce za ta kafa gwamnati a shekara ta 2027.
To excellency, tunda kuna ta maganar duk da wato matakin da hukumar zaɓe INEC ta ɗauka akan wannan jam'iyya ta hukunci za ku ci gaba da yin abubuwa a Kano, kamar ya kuka shirya yin tsare-tsare har da zai kai ku ga babban taron ƙasa?
Kamar yadda kowa ya sani, ita wannan jama'iyya tamu ta ADC ranar 7 ga watan 4 gobe kenan za a fara congresses daga ward. Daga nan ran 9 ga wata za a yi na local government, ran 11 ga wata za a yi state, kuma in Allah ya kai mu 14 ga watan 4 za a yi national convention, taro na ƙasa kenan ga baki ɗaya. Muna jawo hankalin dukkanin 'yan uwanmu waɗanda muka shiga cikin wannan tsari da su da su shiga cikin wannan kongresin su tabbatar da cewar sun haɗa kai da sauran shugabanni waɗanda aka taras a cikin wannan jama'iyya domin tabbatar da cewar mun shiga cikin tsarin kuma mun yi abin da ya kamata. Su shugabanni a nan muna yin magana da su ta hanyoyin da za a bi a tabbatar da cewar mutanenmu sun shiga gurin da ya kamata a cikin wannan mukamai. Amma dai muhimmin abu shine tun da mun riga mun zo ɗaya, ba za mu cika damuwa da cewar an ce an ba mu kaza an ba mu kaza ba, amma dai mutane su shiga cikin gaggawa, musamman na gobe za a fara saboda karancin lokaci da kuma wanda za su taso a nan gaba har zuwa national convention da za a yi ranar 14 ga wannan wata.
Duk da wannan fata da kuke da shi, shari'a ana cewa kamar ba ku iya samun kun haɗa gidanku a jam'iyyance ba na jam'iyyar ADC, domin wanda yake ikirarin cewa shine shugaban wannan jam'iyya, Nafi'u Bala daga jihar Gombe, ya ce shi ba zai janye shari'ar da ya shigar ba, domin ku da kuka shigo sabbin jam'iyyar wato daga wasu jam'iyyu dama kuna da tarihin haddasa rigingimu a jam'iyyun da kuka baro, ba kuma zai yadda cewa ku zo jam'iyyar su ku tada musu da husuma kamar yadda yake ikirari ba. Kamar waɗanne dabaru yanzu za ku yi amfani da su ku shawo kansa?
To, ni dai bana cikin masu sa rigima a cikin jama'iyya, ko da ma barin jama'iyya ta na farko kamar inda kowa ya sani mun yi ta ƙoƙarin mu samu waɗanda za mu haɗu da su don mu haɗa ƙarfi, a haɗa ƙarfi da ƙarfe a tabbatar da nasarar tafiya a wannan ƙasa ta Najeriya. A cikin zuciyata ba ni da wani babban tsari na barin jama'iyyata ta NNPP. Abin da ya faru shine Allah ya kama wani zamani waɗanda shugabanni ba abin da suke so sai dai a yi zaɓe jama'iyya ɗaya su ci babu hamayya. Musamman mu kaga a Kano, gwamna ya je ya faskara mana jama'iyya, ya kafa wani bangare wanda yake son ya nuna cewar jama'iyyar mu ana rigima a cikinta. Wannan abu ne wanda yake na rashin jin daɗi, na takaici, wanda mun so da ya banmu ba mu so ya banmu ba, amma da ya tafin kamata ya kyale mu kuma mu ci gaba da rayuwarmu a cikin jama'iyyar mu. Haka duk sun shiga hedikwatar mu ta nan suna ta kokari na su bata ta. Haka kuma wanda suke rigima da mu wanda ba su taba samun wani sakamakon kotu wanda ya bata mana rai ko ya goyi bayan su ba. To amma tunda suka shiga suka bata wannan jama'iyya da harkar kotu, kuma ba jama'iyyar mu ce kadai ba, kusan dukkanin jama'iyyar nan ka duba za ka ga sun sa su a cikin matsala. PDP an sa ta a cikin matsala, mutane wanda suke ciki dole suka furfuta. Kamar ita Labour Party, kaga ita ma an sa mata rigingimu wanda dole ana ganin ta, dole mutanen ta ciki suka fita daga cikinta, da sauran jama'iyyu waɗanda suke ma ba a sa musu rigimar ba. Yanzu na tabbata waɗanda suke sa rigimar nan suna zura ido, suna so lallai su haɗa fitina a ciki. To kaga in ka duba haka kurkusa za ka ga kamar wata dabara ce ta siyasa, hura wuta a jama'iyya. To amma kaga yanzu ya sa duk masu hura wuta a cikin jama'iyyu sun ƙona mana gidajen da muke so. Yanzu mun fito mun zo mun haɗu a wani guri na musamman da ake cewa ADC. To wannan ba ƙaramin abu ne wanda da wa'anda suke hura wannan wutar ba su taɓa zaton haka za ta yi ba. To amma gidan da kake an samar wuta, wancan gidansa an samar wuta, to dole sai an samu wata mahaɗa. To mu mun riga mun yanke hukuncin Allah yarda a cikin wannan jama'iyya za a zauna, kuma na tabbata Allah zai taɓa zuciyar dukkanin waɗanda suke rigima da wannan jama'iyya, domin rigima da wannan jama'iyya na tabbata rigima da al'ummar Najeriya ne gabaki daya. daga lokacin da muka shiga cikin wannan jama'iyya zuwa yanzu miliyoyin mutane sun shigo, miliyoyin mutane za su ci gaba da shigowa, kuma muna gaya musu su je su katin zaɓe, domin ba shigowa ADC ne kawai yake da muhimmanci ba, akwai abu mai muhimmanci shine yin kati na zaɓe. Wanda suka yi dama an ce permanent ne, wanda ko ba su yi ba ya na'am.
Abinda wasu za su ce shine maimakon kira ga jama'a su yanki katin ADC, me zai hana ku kira ga kawunan ku da kuma shi Nafi'u Bala ku zauna da shi a matsayin ku na jigajigan 'yan siyasa da kuka shigo, shi Nafi'u Bala wanda ke cewa shine shugaban jam'iyyar nan, ya kasance kun je da INEC da kotu cewa kun gamsu kuma kun yi sulhu gaba ɗaya maganar nan kafin ku kira ga wasu su shiga ita jam'iyyar.
To gaskiya tun da na shigo jam'iyyar nan ni kaina abinda nake ta kokari kenan yi. Jiya muka yi za mu sadu da shi, to amma har asuba ina jiransa, Allah bai sa ya zo ba, kuma dama wasu sun ce da ni ba zai zo ba. Wannan ya sa na samu rashin jin daɗi, kuma abinda nake so in gaya masa ina ganin watakila zan iya faɗa ma don ka gan shi ka gaya masa. Halin da ƙasar nan take ciki da wannan jama'iyya tamu da demokuraɗiyya, bai kamata shi ya zama shi ne kadangaren bakin tulu ba. Ni a matsayina na shugaba a cikin wannan tafiya ta harkar siyasa a wannan ƙasa tamu da ita kanta wannan jama'iyya tamu, na ɗauka in na nemi in gan shi zai zo mu yi magana da shi, in ba shi shawarwari na ɗa da uba, da kuma a matsayinsa na matashi wanda ya shigo cikin wannan tafiya. Don na yi gugulin na ga an haife shi a 1990, to kaga yana da buƙatar ba shi shawara da sauransu. Abinda ya ɗauko a halin yanzu na tabbata ba zai taimake shi ba, ba zai taimaki ADC da yake sanya shugabanta ba, ba za ta taimaki Najeriya ba, ba za ta taimaki demokuraɗiyya ba. A nan nake kira ga dukkanin al'umma, musamman wanda suka gan shi, wanda ni na kasa ganinsa, da su ba shi shawara ta kirki. Wannan shawara ko ita ce ya cire hannunsa daga cikin wannan tsari na kawo ƙalubale ga wannan tafiya tamu. Ya duba mutane miliyoyi a ƙasar nan da suka yi rijista, musamman da sanar ke cikin wannan jama'iyya aka iya cewa ƙarama ce, amma yanzu manya-manyan shugabanni sun shigo ta da nufin cewar za a yi abin da ya dace wa ƙasa. To idan ya zo ya tsaya ya tare hanya, wannan zai zamanto kuskure ne babba, kuma ya kamata ya sani, musamman a gurinsa shi da yake matashi. Ina kira ga dukkanin mutane, domin an ce dan Gombe ne, ni ba saninsa ne ba, musamman shi mai martaba sarkin Gombe, da ya sa baki, ko shi ko iyayensa ko wasu mutane da sauran sarakuna su sa baki, da dukkanin 'yan siyasa wanda suka san shi, har da malamai da sauransu, domin wannan ɗan ƙanƙanan abu ne wanda yake mutum ɗaya yake ganin zai tare hanyar bi. To wannan ba ƙaramar illa ba ce a gurinsa, kuma ya kamata ya sani, kuma ya kamata ya gyara, domin mu sami jin daɗi da haɗin kai, musamman na wannan ɓangare na Najeriya da duka da mu da shi muka fito. Wannan na ganin wannan shawara da na bayar shawara ce kyauta, saboda na san za ta taimake shi, za ta taimake mu gabaki ɗaya.
Wanda kuma zai iya cewa me zai hana tun da ku manya ne kun shigo cikin jam'iyyar nan, kun zo kun same shi a ciki kuma yana cewa shi ne shugabanta, me zai hana ku wato ku saurare shi dan kuma ko a yi masa mubaya a dan a matsayin shugaba, a yadda ainihin za ta karbi da mu'amala da ita hukumar.
To ni ma haka na so, ai ba sai kaga mutum ma za ku yi magana ba. Ni a guna akwai takardun da suke nuna ya yi resigning, akwai hotunansa da suke nuna ya je tarurruka na su wa'annan shugabanni, kuma idan ka duba kotu da abin da ta yi, INEC tana nan tuntuni amma sai kawai a tsakar rana ta fito da wannan magana. Ai da ya zo na gan shi da duk zan nuna masa wannan abubuwa, domin na tabbata a fahimta ta a tsarin babu gaskiya ko da kwaya ɗaya a ciki daga ɓangarensa.
To me kuke tunanin ya haddasa wannan rikici na shugabanci a jam'iyyar ta ADC?
Zamani. Ai zamani ne Allah ya kawo mu, mutum ɗaya sai ya yi abin da ko mutum 1000 ne ko mutum miliyan, domin yanzu kana magana ADC kaga magana kake ta miliyoyin mutane wanda sun shigo, musamman irinmu ba mu da wata harka, ba mu da wani abin da ya wuce wannan tabbatar da cewa demokuraɗiyya ta zauna, mu tabbatar da cewa an samu shugabanni na kwarai, yaranmu su sami makarantu, su sami wajen aikin yi, ƙasa ta zauna lafiya, duk kashe-kashen nan da ake ta yi a samu shugabancin da zai taka masa birki. Wannan shi ne abin da muka sa gaba. Mun sa gaban tabbatar da cewar al'umma sun samu rayuwa mai kyau. Wannan halin da ake ciki a wannan ƙasa gaskiya ba ma goyon bayansa, kuma ba mu yarda da shi ba. Shi ne kaga ake ta wannan fafutuka. To kuma mai hankali a irin wannan yanayi ko kuma mai mafaɗa wanda za su iya ba shi shawara, to a gaskiya wannan abin da ya ɗauko ba hanya ce ta ɓillewa ba akan harkar demokuraɗiyya da kuma zamantakewa.
To a matsayin ku na sabon wanda kuka shiga ita wannan jam'iyya ta ADC, yan adawar ku suna ganin cewa kamar kun yi wani abu mai kama da gwari a siyasance. Kun shiga jam'iyya mai fama da rikice wato rudu. Kamar ku ya kuke tunanin za ku shawo kan wannan rikicin shugabanci, musamman ma kallon da ake muku cewa kun ja magoya bayan ku kun sanya su cikin rudu a ADC?
Ito, ai masu sa rudu inda ba haƙura za ka yi da siyasa ba, inda ba so kowa so yake mu koma ƙauyenmu ko garuruwan mu je mu zauna ba, ai rudun ko ina ne. To a cikin rudu inda yake tafiya yanzu, tunda Allah sa muna da hankalinmu, muna da tsarinmu, muna da jama'anmu, to a cikin rudu za a sami tsarin da zai ba da hanya wata za ta bulle. Saboda haka muna sa ran Allah ya yarda wannan tsari wanda duk suke wani abu wanda yake bai dace da abin da ya kamata ba, to na tabbata nan gaba in Allah ya yarda Allah zai taba zuciyarsu da su yi abin da ya dace, a kyale a yi dimokuraɗiyya, a kyale parties kowa ya je ya shiga. Kuma wannan ma shine ma jin daɗi na waɗanda suke a cikin hukuma, domin ka rarraba ya fi sauƙin sha'ani. Amma yanzu duka gidajen kamar an sa musu wuta, waɗanda ma ake zaton za a je ɗin, in ka je ma ƙarshen ta matsalar kenan.
Da kai da madugun adawa Atiku Abubakar da Peter Obi, ana jinjina muku waɗanda suke son su ga cewa 'yan adawa sun haɗu wuri guda, da kowannen ku burin sai ya jagoranci Najeriya, amma dukan ku kuka haƙura kuka shiga cikin wannan ADC tare. Kamar waɗanne irin ƙalubale kuka, wace irin sadaukarwa kuka yi har kuka amince ku haɗu ma a wato dandamali na siyasa guda ɗaya?
To, in gidanka ya kama wuta ka ga gida, ba dole ne ka je ka faɗa wanda ba gobarar da ɗan sauƙi-sauƙi ba. Shi ne abin da yake faruwa. Yanzu mun zo mun haɗu, kuma na tabbata su jama'iyya ba za su rasa wani tsari da suka yi wanda yake zai taimaka wajen rage dukkanin waɗansu fitintunu da rigingimu da suka iya tasowa a gida ba. Saboda haka mu dai daga bangaren mu mun shiga tsakaninmu da Allah da kyakkyawar zuciya da kuma nufin cewar a yi abin da ya dace. A tabbata aka yi abubuwa waɗanda suke 'yan Najeriya za su karɓa, za a yi zai zamanto mun sabda da samun farin ciki. Da yawa mutane ba su gane menene dimokuraɗiyya ba, musamman a irin wannan dimokuraɗiyya mai jama'iyyu da yawa. Idan za ka tafi zaɓe ya sha bamban da tsarin naɗi. In naɗi ne za ka naɗa kowa, amma idan zaɓe ne, musamman a Najeriya yanzu da dimokuraɗiyya ta daɗe, an kai matsayin da yake in ka ba talakawa mutanen da suke so, to ba ruwanka ma ka ta kowa ya tafi bari bacci ma ba sai ka sa wani agent ba. Duka 'yan Najeriya za su iya zama maka agent, su tabbatar da an rubuta ƙuri'a kuma an faɗi wanda ya ce. amma in dai ba haka kai ba to kowace jama'iyya ce ba sai lalle ta mu ADC ba, kowace jama'iyya ce za ta sami kalubale. Domin yanzu ina so in tabbatar maka da cewa matasanmu.
This isn't a course, it's a trading boot camp.
At Trade with the Pros, you're in the room with real traders. Live instruction, live markets, live coaching. You learn how professional.
Birni da ƙauye. Duka kowa yanzu mafita yake nema. Kowa yana neman ya zai zauna lafiya. Kowa yana neman yaya zai inganta tattalin arzikinsa da na iyalinsa. Kowa ina neman ya za a yi a inganta harkar ilimi. Kowa ina neman ya za a yi a sami kayayyaki na inganta rayuwa. Mutum ya yi rayuwarsa mai kyau, ya yi addininsa, ya yi dukkanin abin da ya kamata yi a wannan duniya cikin jin daɗi. Wannan mutane sun fahimci haka, kuma shi sa yawan kamfen ba zai yi wahala ba wannan karan. Domin abinda duk kake zaton wai mutane ba su sani ba, yanzu sai mutane su zaunar da kai su gaya maka fiye da abin da kai kanka ka sani. Saboda haka Allah ya kama wani lokaci wanda mutane suna cikin damuwa, birni da ƙauye. Mutane suna neman suwaye za su cece su. Mutane suna neman ina za su saka kansu. Zaharaddin yanzu da muke zaune a nan, Allah kaɗai ya san mutanen da suke hannun bandits, 'yan ta'adda. Yadda muke zaune a nan, Allah kaɗai ya san wanda yau bai ci abinci ba, ko ba shi da hanyar da zai samu, kuma da safe ma bai san ta yadda zai samu wannan abinci ba. Akwai mutane yanzu marasa lafiya suna nan gabar da yamma, kudu da arewa a Najeriya, ba su da dama su je asibiti, ba su da dama su kai 'ya'yansu makaranta. Duk irin waɗannan abubuwa ne waɗanda suke dole sai an zauna an yi tsari, an ga yadda za a fito yadda Najeriya za ta zauna lafiya.
Wani abu da na san 'yan Najeriya da dama suke son su ji shine shigar Dr. Rabi'u Musa Kwankwaso ADC. A wannan karan injiniya Rabi'u Musa Kwankwaso yana da sha'awar tsayawa takara ta shugaban ƙasa a jam'iyyar nan ta ADC?
To, shi mai hankali a wannan tsari na dimokuraɗiyya, na farko duk ka tafi ko a ina kake ka zauna a matsayin kai ɗan siyasa ne. Amma idan yanayi ya zo a cikin tafiya, misali mutane suka zo suka ce kai ne za ka yi musu masinja, to kuma ya zama wajibi ka tsaya ka tabbatar da cewar ka yi wannan tsari. Ita wannan jama'iyya da muka zo sun gaya mana cewar suna ta yin ƙoƙari a samu maslaha, a tabbatar da cewar an same abin da bature ke cewa consensus. To muna sa rai a samu, an samu shikenan, wanda Allah ya sa za su yi shikenan su yi, in Allah ya ba su wannan dama. Amma dai babban abin da muka tsaya kuma muke faɗa shine duk inda muka shiga kuma mun yi wannan shugabanni namu na ADC magana cewar mun shigo da tsarin blueprint ɗinmu, abinda muke tsari za mu yi wa al'umma in muka samu dama. To wannan yana ɗaya daga cikin kwandishin ɗin da muka yarda da shi, saboda ba wai sai lallai kai ne kake yin shugabanci ba. Idan wanda yake yi ya yarda da aƙida, domin wannan tana da matuƙar muhimmanci, musamman mu kuwa san mu da harkar ilimi. Wanda yake zai fito ya yi maganar ilimi, ba ma magana ba, ya tabbatar da 'ya'yan Najeriya sun shiga makaranta, musamman mu a arewa da yara ga sunan miliyoyi suna yawo da kwanuka da kokuna suna yin bara. Wannan kowa san abin da muka yi a Kano, sai da muka yi doka, sai da muka hana bara a Kano, kuma muka kula da yaranmu, muka sa su a makarantu, muka yi duk abin da ya dace. In mun yi a Kano za a iya a Najeriya. Saboda haka mu babban abin da dame mu ma ba wai ni lalle in shiga ba, a'a, abin da ya dame mu shine waye zai yi, kuma zai iya, kuma ya zai tafiyar da abubuwansa. Wannan shi za mu fi zura ido a kai, domin tabbatar da cewar in Allah ya sa da jama'iyya aka zaɓe ta, to ba rinka cewa ai gara ma wacce ta wuce ba.
Tun bayan da Peter Obi ya ziyarce ka a Milan a gidanka da ke Kano, ana ganin kamar alaƙa tana ƙara kyawu tsakaninka da shi. Idan har maslaha ta kai ga ta jam'iyyar nan taku ta ADC cewa za ka yi masa mataimakin shugaban ƙasa ya yi maka ta yi, za ka karɓa ku yi wannan takara tare da shi?
To me yasa baka ce Amaechi ba? Me yasa baka ce Atiku Abubakar ba? Me yasa kake maganar Peter Obi? Babban magana ita ce ana gaya maka in aka zo aka ce ga wani tsari a yanayin da muka samu kanmu na area da zaka ba da gudunmawa. To ko shakka babu ya kamata mutum ya bayar. Yawanci da yawa mutane muna gani a siyasa da yawa sai mutum ya kai kansa watakila ma inda Allah bai kai shi ba. To shi kenan sai mutum ya ta fama a ta rigingimu da sauransu. Mu daga bangaren mu da muka shigo wannan tafiya mun shigo tsakaninmu da Allah kuma abin da muka ga ya dace a yi shine za a yi. Yanzu ma lokacin ya yi sauri daga shigowar mu da yan kwanaki fa kenan daga shigar tamu ADC. Ba masu mu je mu bata rawanmu da tsalle na maganar wane shine kaza wane shine kaza. Amma dai na tabbata nan gaba in Allah ya yarda duk wannan abubuwa za a fitar da su cikin sauki.
Amma a takaicen misali idan har ta kasance baka samu takarar shugaban kasa ba ko mataimaki, za ka iya haƙura ka ci gaba da wannan tsaya a cikin wannan jam'iyya ta ADC ba tare da wani abu a zuciyarka ba, la'akari da furcin da kai a baya cewa duk inda za ka ji sai dai ka samu lamba ɗaya ko kuma lamba biyu.
Wancan lokacin da ma ya abin da muka faɗa kenan, kuma muna faɗa ne domin ba wai dan zamani ne na ɗayan ko na biyan kawai ba. Muna so masoya magoya baya mu ba su dama. Ita kanta wannan jam'iyya da muka shiga mun shige ta ne don mu ba mutane dama. Idan aka ce jam'iyya ɗaya ce kawai a Najeriya ranar zaɓe za a tafi a ce za a zaɓe ta, to ba a ba mutane mu mu kan mu adalci ba mu 'yan siyasa, saboda aikinmu ne mu ba da dama ga al'umma. Ba aikin 'yan kasuwa ba ne, ba aikin malamai ba ne, ba aikin sarakuna ba ne, ba aikin manoma ba ne ko ku 'yan jarida. Mu ne aikinmu mu ba al'umma dama su je su zaɓi abin da ya dace. In sun zaɓi abin da ya kamata za su gani a ƙwaryarsu. In suka je suka yi abin da ba daidai ba, to wata rana mutum zai shiga ɗaki ya ciji ɗan yatsansa kuma watakila ma hawaye su fito masa domin ya yi kuskure. To amma in baka ba da dama ba, to kaga wannan ya zama ba a yi musu abin da ya dace ba. Yanzu muna so mu yi wa al'umma 'yan Najeriya adalci. A ware ga masu yin kaza iri kaza, ga masu yi kaza iri kaza, ranar zaɓe sai a je a yi zaɓe.
DCL Hausa.
If you're willing to learn how to use a free program called QuickBooks, you can make a great living working part-time from home or anywhere in the world. Here's the thing,
Political realignment in Kano State is becoming more intense as gladiators seek alliances to remain in better place for victory in coming elections. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf is seeking to rebuild alliances with influential figures after falling out with his former political mentor, Rabiu Musa Kwakunto. In recent developments, Governor Yusuf has intensified efforts to woo former governor of the state, Malam Ibrahim Shekarau, to the All Progressives Congress APC. The outreach came after Governor Yusuf dumped the new Nigeria People's Party NNPP for the APC, while Senator Rabiu Kwakunto also dumped the NNPP for the African Democratic Congress ADC. PK, I'd like to know, why is former Governor Shekarau suddenly the most sought-after political figure right now by the governor? Why? Does it still hold much electoral value?
Of course it does. And this is not the first time. In 2023, the same thing happened when he fell out with Governor Ganduje. You know, he was involved in a tough battle with Governor Ganduje.
Okay.
Mr. James, sorry, I'm just seeing your message. I was not really actually on speak. I was in the kitchen cooking at the same time. So, okay, you're back. Sorry, Mr. James. I was in the kitchen, so I didn't want to bring you and leave you alone. Hello?
Yeah, they were talking Hausa grammar. Can you hear me?
Well, welcome to another the second half of Nigeria. As the northern part of Nigeria, that's the message that go far. So that was the first was Atiku. They were asking him about ADC and regarding what the INEC verdict. He said, well, they are going to continue with their program. Kokoso is pretty much speaking to the same thing, but they asked Kokoso if he's going to deputize Obi. His response was, why did you say Obi? Amaechi is there, Atiku is there, they are all in the party. Why you say it's Obi? So what I get from the whole picture is that they are planning to settle on a consensus candidate in the ADC. And if that is the case, that is going to be Atiku. So we are looking at that will be eventually leaving the party.
Anyway, that is their wahala. I don't see any remarkable difference between them and APC. They are all birds of a feather.
Yeah.
They cannot solve the problems of Nigeria. That's just
it. And they don't even believe there's a problem.
Well, that's another aspect of the show. Very correct. It's just
to them, their problem is leadership. So, and they are the one. So, rotating themselves is the problem. It is the solution.
Anyway, one thing is very certain: the election will never be free and fair.
That's for sure. The election is for sale.
Cool. So,
Highest bidder take it.
Not a question of highest bidder. It's going to be criminally rigged. I just say it's not a question of highest bidder.
That's highest bidder. If you have money, you use every means, rigging everything. You get away with it. So that's highest bidder. if you bring a good money out, they will rig it for you.
I wish there can be a campaign that there should be no election.
Well, the people that will do that, they want to do the thing. So show what asking yourself why Showore will not lead that kind of campaign. I mean, what does he have to do?
I asked him some time ago during the 2023, before the 2023 election, that he is preaching revolution. Sorry, I told him this problem cannot be solved without a revolution. He agreed. And I asked him, why is he wasting his time? He said that he's just doing it to convince us that the process is not free and fair.
The people who are financing him, who are sponsoring him, are the same people sponsoring the Tunubus, the Peter Obis, the all of them. So they cannot do that. What they want him to do is what he's doing. Just do enough. But don't. So that's the problem we have. They are all the same. They are serving the same interest.
Anyway, for me, I'm not interested in the election. In fact, I've never been interested. So, anyway, that's their wahala, my man. Let the fools die for them.
The war that is going on in Iraq and Ukraine might just even go to the next level, and your prayer will be answered. it will stop the election. There's a possibility of that. So anything can happen at this point. You can just wake up one morning and say the whole world is on fire.
And graduate into a full-scale world war.
Yeah.
Yes, can graduate into. We are very lucky that there will be no boots on the ground to fight the war. It's not like First and Second World War. If not, Africans would have been drafted into the war the way they did during the First and Second World War. Either you like it or not.
If they bring the war to our doorstep, which is there's a high possibility, our men will be on ground.
In Nigeria, not in Iran.
Yeah, in Nigeria, of course. In Nigeria, in Togo, in any of the African countries, they might decide to. After all, we are a colony, so they are training us already. They are training our men already. if push comes to shove, they'll send our boys to go. Because if all their drones and they are stay grounded and there's no way to replenish them back, boats will be on the ground. It's an interesting time.
Yeah, the times are very interesting. Interestingly uninteresting.
To earlier on, China and Russia stopped the peace deal that they were trying to pass at the UN.
I saw it, but I did not watch the video clip. What exactly is it about?
They were proposing a peace deal for the Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz, or the Strait of Hormuz. That's the name now. So they wanted to open Trump was proposing a deal for the Strait of Hormuz to open, but the UN votes, Russia and China say no. So that means they want it to keep going. So means there's going to be famine soon in so many countries, because it's not just the fuel. The fuel is just the oil is just a little part of things that goes through that Iran. I think 90 to 80% of the fertilizers that the world use also go through that place, and that's the most critical one. That's the next level. So if the strait continue to be closed for the next 6 months, we are going to see famine that the world has never experienced before. People will be dying in their millions.
It's better to just fight the war once and for all instead of postponing.
No, of course. Yeah, that's what they will. They have no choice.
They should just fight it, and those of us who will die will just die and go away and leave the world.
Right. Those who survive, we continue.
Continue. That's it. That to me, they should not be in a hurry to finish the war.
They should not be in a hurry. Yeah, no, I don't think they are in a hurry. The big countries, for sure, they are not in a hurry. What a time.
Yeah, you see, the sad thing is that we Africans did not prepare for this.
Prepare. They are not even aware.
No, well, one or two people might be aware, but we were not in any way prepared at all. And
we are busy looking for power. Who wants to be president? Who wants to be minister?
We are busy running after women and alcohol.
So it's part of it too. Once you get power, every other thing follow. Just like the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Every other thing will come. So once you are a minister, women comes automatically.
That's what they are running after. You see, such a terrible war is going on. No African country is being mentioned to play any role.
Roll.
Whether role or negotiation or
They are
not
not
even
even
one.
closing up for negotiation. They
Not
went
even one.
to they
You
went
get the
to
point?
this country near India, Pakistan. It's Pakistan that is doing the negotiation between Iran and the United States. Imagine that. You are even talking about that the peace deal, where the peace deal they include Egypt. Abi?
I can't remember.
I think it's not the peace deal. The peace what Trump called the new organization that they are floating. So Africa, yeah. we that are begging for food, we're begging for money every day. Why would they invite us? We're the ability.
Well,
They see us as a liability.
Actually, you see, Nigeria is a very mighty disappointment to the black race. Very, very big disappointment. We were in a position to determine quite a lot of things and protect interests of the black people. But
Yep.
here we are. Here we are.
We are still busy looking for
the government of monetarily, legally, and everything that could undermine democracy, they are involved. And we say this with fact because we saw what happened to the Labour Party. We saw the government of the day. We are not speaking because we want to speak. We saw how the minister of the FCT was saying, don't worry to the president. I'm going to hold down ABC political party for you. I mean, just justify to me. We should work together as a team to save this country. We have leaders who are, with all due respect, criminally minded, and they don't care. They don't care whether you survive or not, as long as they are surviving. The country is going down. We are sinking like Titanic ship. We are sinking at a fast rate. So a nephew or any other person should not join in this particular action. He should not. Because the people will vote against him, not even me. The people will vote against him, no matter what he makes out of this particular situation, no matter how much money he makes, it will finish. We've seen people like that. It will finish and you will not have anything to refer back to.
Has the party tried to reach out to him to say...
The party members are doing everything possible, but I'm even speaking to his conscience. I'm even speaking directly to his conscience.
Mr. James. On today's edition of the program, I get...
Yeah, I'm here.
The obedience, the presidential campaign. I think they are moving from 2023 slogan of production to consumption to production. They are moving to saving. They are trying to save democracy now.
Who are they to save democracy? How democratic are they? Is that the point? In this very man you are seeing on the screen, Victor Riole, I told him in 2022 and road to 2023 that should Peter Obi win, what happened to Balarabe Musa in Kaduna State during the Second Republic of Shagari is going to happen to him. He cannot work with them. You get the point? The Kaduna State House of Assembly in those days was manned by NPN, while PROP was controlling the executive. Eventually, they impeached Balarabe Musa because he was unable to work with the House. Peter Obi, if he's as straightforward as people are claiming to be, I don't know. But let's assume that they are correct. He cannot work with the House of Assembly unless maybe these are just gimmicks to win the election. After winning the election, he will show his true color. I don't know. Because that is what we've been experiencing all along. Because this character is displaying, he cannot, He cannot pass bills in the House of Assembly. Look at all the Labour Party members of Parliament. Where are they today? They've cross-carpeted. So what is the guarantee that he'll be able to deliver the goods? Character is displaying. He can.
Is I mean, how the fact that they abandon production to consumption is what I don't understand.
Who mandated them to fight for democracy? We want to see their manifesto. Not, I mean, who gave them the mandate? That is what I want to know.
Is the mandate? I think the mandate was given to them from Chatham House. It was given to them from Chatham House.
They are all the same. Don't mind them.
So Bola Tinubu is killing democracy, so they need to come and save it from Tinubu's and APC, and that's the message.
We asked them one question: when and where did Nigerians resolve that they should be democratic? When was the decision taken? You see, we need homegrown solutions to our problems, not all these imported ideas and solutions. We need homegrown solutions to the problems we are grappling with. So that's how I see it.
I don't know. I think we are too educated for that. We want to be like London and New York. There's no way. What do we need homegrown for? We don't eat homegrown food anymore. You are saying we should practice homegrown government. Mr. James, I don't think we Nigerians, we are more Oyibo than Oyibo now. Don't even eat homegrown rice. We are talking of homegrown government. All our best they are. Our government send the legislators to abroad to go and learn how to legislate. You are talking of homegrown.
During Shagari time, I remember, they sent legislators to Switzerland to learn how to create state creation during Shagari time. I remember.
So that's why I said we've been 60 years.
There are a bunch of nuisance, the way I see the whole of them.
Yeah, Nigeria is 65 years. We don't have homegrown institutions that teach governance, that teach African civics or Nigerian civics, governance, all that. So where are we going to practice? So we don't have. It's not in their radar. What they have in Nigeria are think tanks. Now that's the new ventures, think tanks and lobby firm. You see all those presidential aspirants and everybody that former serving government. That's what they are into now. The likes of Ezekwesili, Elumelu, the former presidential aspirant from the southeast, the former central bank deputy governor. He used to has a started his own think tank. The former minister of information, that is Lai Mohammed. Lai Mohammed worked with the American firm in Abuja, American lobby firm. So that's the new hustle. They are not thinking of develop homegrown strategy. No, they want to bring Washington to Abuja and London to Abuja instead.
Look, this was how they misbehaved during the First Republic, and it ended in the disaster. During Moshood Abiola's time, this was how Babangida was also misbehaving, Maradona, till he eventually dribbled himself out of office. These people, take it or leave it, they will be swept into oblivion in one way or the other. That's how I see it. Let the fools go and line up to vote for them during the 2027 election.
It's sad. It's not about. They are not thinking inward. They are thinking outward. Everybody wants to relocate.
You see, it is possible to look for homegrown solutions. This man, I will never stop citing him as my example, Chief Awolowo.
Yeah.
When he wrote his programs, they did not go to Jamaica or Afghanistan or anywhere to import any solution. They went to Ekene, Ogun State, his house.
Right.
That sat down, they brainstormed with the assistance of people like Ebenezer Babatope and others. They worked out the modalities for the free education, and it was an unqualified success throughout the states they controlled. There were hitches here and there, but they were able to overcome all the problems, and they delivered the goods. This is a homegrown solution to a local problem. But if it is these people now, they will say they are going to Finland or Jamaica or Yugoslavia.
Even to strategize for winning election, they were going to France and London. Like
And they were
this
going
is
to Chatham House. We need homegrown solutions to our problems. That's all. It's not about democracy.
we need PhD holders from Harvard and London
Hey,
School of Economics.
look. Forget all those PhD. whatever is it. Look, you don't need a PhD degree to be a good leader. You know John Major of England.
Mr. James, that's not in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you need a PhD.
You don't need it. You don't need it.
In fact, PhD is the least qualification in Nigeria. You have a PhD these days, they are still telling you are not qualified. Where they ask you, where is the PhD coming from? Or where is the PhD in what? So in Nigeria, we are more, our standards of academic is higher than any other countries in this world. But
What do
still.
you mean? Higher in what sense?
Are you not seeing? Are you
Development.
not seeing our generals? You know how many generals we have, Mr. James. You play down on us. Our generals everywhere.
Excuse me. Look at what the Rangers are doing. What the Ranger generals are doing. Can we do 1% of what they are accomplishing?
And they have been killing their top leaders since Trump first since 2016, when they have been killing their, and then was it Israel speed it
The
up
line
back
is not
last
correct.
year.
The
They're
line,
killing all their leaders, all their military top chief. But still, they still hold their ground.
the line is breaking.
Oh, okay. I say, and the Iranian leaders have been taking a hit for the past almost 10 years. They've been targeting their leaders, killing their leader one by one by US and Israel. But still, they still hold their ground.
Yeah, that is the homegrown solution I'm talking about. Their political system is unique to their social environment. They took a lot of things into account. They did not import it from America or from China or
Yeah.
Yugoslavia. It's locally brewed for the people of Iran. This is the point I'm making.
Every free country develop homegrown solution. That's why they are free. Only Nigeria. Even Ethiopian, before Ali Gebre Selassie father dies, it was the one that resisted all the imperialists. So they waited for him
That's
to. Yeah, they waited. I
Menelik.
think when he get old and die, then they will come back. But because he understands how those people operate, before he died, he appointed his successor. But most importantly, he begins to appoint other leaders, begin give position to military. You head the military, you head the. So it distributes the powers around the chiefs around him, so that they cannot be invaded before he dies. That's why Ethiopia survived. But in Nigeria, not die. we want to know how America did it, so that we'll come and in fact we'll bring them to come and help us to implement it.
And one thing that is annoying me terribly, when you discuss with people, they say the Nigerian military, they are well trained. Among the
Who
best in
trained
the
them?
world.
Who trained them?
Trained in what? Because they want to fight ragtag army in Sierra Leone and Liberia. They went to
those
Congo
small
police work.
countries.
They went to do police work in those countries. See what their counterparts in Iran, they are accomplishing. For Iran to hold the United States to ransom over this Gulf of Hormuz is unthinkable in the history of military adventures in the world. So, to hell with Nigerian military.
Nigeria don't have military.
They have Boy Scouts. They have Boy Scouts.
Nigeria have royal guards. Royal guards to guide the minerals for the empires. That's what they are there for.
Anyway, let's see how the whole show will unfold. But I'm expecting the system will break down.
Yeah, after because the election will produce a result that people will disagree with, and that will be the end. That will be the beginning of the end. There will be agitation everywhere. There will not be one big agitation, but from that point on, you'll be seeing fracas everywhere, and that's how the state will collapse. That's how the state will collapse. But they are making moves though. These men, I don't write them out like that. They want to create states. I think that will buy them time. That will buy them time. If they create states, then I think there will not be chaos. There will not be violence. They will buy another maybe 20 years for themselves. Not that things will get better. It is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. But because some people have more state now, they will have more one or two, three more new governors. So new power will be, So they are working on one way to build themselves out, but that will not solve the main problem, which is hunger, lack of development, and all that kind of thing. That's not going to solve. But within themselves, that's what I think they are doing. I don't know how successful it will be, but they are definitely doing something. They are training the Nigerian army to be able to fight the terrorists. That's what they say they are doing. So if they can keep those ones on check, create one or two more states.
Who are the terrorists? Is it those boys or their sponsor? Who are the terrorists?
No, it is the people that created the whole militant. Yeah, the one actually prescribing solution.
Anyway, I don't have. Let's see what next year is already around the corner. So let's see how it will turn out to be. I remember Babangida's time when he was bringing his option A4 and what have you. Little did he know that he would be swept into oblivion. He will step aside, never to return. So let's see how.
Why I don't take this, especially the opposition parties, all these people serious. It's because I know they are going to. If they stay together, then I know okay, there's a change coming. But come next month, I'll be 2 months from now when they are doing that. Once they split, then I know okay.
Because in the opposition, take it from me, in the opposition, You have people like Daniel Bwala, the character of Daniel Bwala, you get what I mean? They are spies in their midst, reporting to the APC what is going on among themselves. And the APC is strategizing. At the end of the day, if APC wins the election, they will cross carpet again and go back to APC the way Daniel Bwala did. This is what is going on.
Then see, that's why I don't take them serious. That's why I just feel
That's the beauty of them serious because look at David Mark. When David Mark was the minister for communication in those days, he said telephone is not meant for poor people. And not telephone, not even this electronic type, these smartphones. The one they place on the table and you keep on dialing.
yeah,
So,
landline.
landline leg, that's it. When they brought it, cried out that, Your Excellency, this thing is beyond our reach. Do something about the price. Said telephone is not meant for poor people. Now, over here in the Gambia where I live, primary school children go to school with their telephone sets in their pockets. In the same David Mark is coming back to tell you and me to vote for them come 2027.
That means if they win, it will be given a position again. It will work in the government.
Of course, yes.
It's a where
They will tell you and me that water is not meant for the poor people to drink.
Oh, that's another thing they will start saying. That very soon, water they will put premium.
So you can't be drinking water as if it's something. I mean, you have to pay. It costs money to produce water. You know?
They are working on that. They are actually working on that because they are telling us that plastic is bad, so they want to buy plastic bottles. They are wondering what they are going to replace it with. These people. Very interesting time.
You heard what Akim Baloye, the 2 minutes broadcast he made about Wiki.
I didn't listen to it. What is his problem?
Look for it, you see.
What is his problem?
You know, Wiki said he would have shot him through the television.
Is that a crime?
Huh?
Is that a crime?
That speaks volumes, you know. It can be interpreted in a number of ways.
Now pastors now. So I don't know why. I didn't hear I didn't even hear when he said it, but from the headlines I'm getting. Okay, is this one? And I leave
in Abuja. I've seen the comments suggesting I could have been shot for doing my job on politics today, right here on China's television. I sincerely want to thank civil society organizations, our viewers, for your love and your comments and your solidarity, and both local and international organizations for your swift interventions and for lending your voices. Your support is deeply appreciated and reinforces our collective commitment to truth and accountability. The fact remains that our democracy is in danger if we allow one-way traffic in balloting. This is not a warning to the opposition or the ruling party, but to all Nigerians who believe in the development of our nation. I acknowledge that China's television has taken steps to address this matter, and I note the ongoing reassurance from the Department of State Services, the DSS, regarding safety.
Oh, man.
I also received a call from the
All
Honorable
these are just
Minister who
distractions.
clarified that the intention was not as conveyed.
Distraction.
While that
I
is
didn't know. I
noted,
didn't
it
know
is
French.
important to emphasize that violent rhetoric or suggestive
I
threats
beg you.
are never appropriate responses to dissent in a democratic society.
I
At a time like
understand
this,
it's a public.
particularly during
I
an
don't
election
know.
season, Clear and consistent assurances of safety are critical. We must not create an environment where such statements can be exploited by those with harmful intentions. Let me be clear, I'm not afraid, and I will never and not be intimidated. Journalism, grounded in ethics and global best practices, remains a duty to the public, not a concession to power. We may disagree, and as humans, we may err, but dissent must never descend into hostility or harm. I will continue to do what I love, asking the necessary questions, holding power to account, and working in the interest of Nigeria and its progress. If that commitment comes
I
at the
think this
cost,
is where I
so
disagree
be
with
it.
him. You are not
Truth
working in the interest of
must
Nigeria.
endure. Thank you, everyone, for your love. Appreciate it.
That's where I disagree with him. He's not working in the interest of Nigeria. I'm not saying
You're fine after a
this is
car
a group.
accident until this happens. Most people
Mr.
don't
James,
realize that even accidents
Yeah.
this is
that
a
seem
group
minor
of
can
friends who
financially destroy.
are who are too much to drink. Eh?
Anyway.
Who can say he would have shot him?
Anyway,
Mr. James, they are friends.
I know.
They meet in Asukoro joint and drink Isiewu and drink pepper soup.
Even, sleep with the same women.
And they are coming to tell us, Shehu say you're working on behalf of Nigeria. You're not working for Nigeria. You're doing your job. That doesn't mean your issue. They should threaten you, but leave Nigeria out of this. Now, you guys are the same. Now they help them, they deceive Nigerians.
I remember was it not Wike who told that lawyer, that Ishan lawyer, what is his name? Who has gone into oblivion now?
Which
Was
lawyer?
it Zekome or something like that?
Exactly. Oh, he's got. You know what is happening to him?
Not quite. I
Eh?
don't know.
You know, the guy they caught him of forgery.
Yeah, for that house in London.
Yes, that's why I keep quiet. I think the London court charged him. I think there was a verdict as at last week that the documents he presented
Were fake.
were fake, and the person that is impersonating somebody, blah blah blah, and all that. That's why the guy kept quiet. And I think I'm wondering what he has said wrong to this administration, because this na government they punish him. I don't think it's I
Anyway,
don't think he has enemies privately. I think it's government that is dealing with him.
they know what is going on among themselves.
Yeah, I think it's not
Was it not the one Wike was asking some time ago that you are the people defending election results that are rigged or something like that? Yes. They know
Yeah.
themselves.
Maybe, yeah, because I was wondering why they could do senior advocate like this. My guy. I don't think it's in either he worked with other party against Tinubu during the last election or something. I don't think they are not in good terms for sure. Because now is it today that they know that he forged document and all that.
And the funny thing is that he just went into oblivion.
Oh, of course. So that was what I mean. He just shut you up.
He's no longer talking.
They thought they don't want all the medias. They don't even want to even give you airtime to come and explain yourself. They warn you, if you see her for your station, you are in trouble. Power pass power. They don't need to do anything. They will just revoke your clearance from Asu Rock. That's it. You don't
Anyway,
really see.
I'm sure come 2027, something dramatic is likely to happen.
Yeah. And if
it's just we are in an interesting time. I mean, know that the world is changing, so Nigeria is not different. Nigeria
Nigeria is changing locally, not
is part of
internationally.
the world too. So
No, another thing amusing me is this Northerners. During Buhari's time, where were they?
they were in power.
Good. So they all kept mute. Now they are making noise.
No, the noise they are making is not pretentious noise. Oh, the offer for the noise. Oh, they are buying time on a turn by turn. I keep telling you, that's it. The noise no be. It's not the. Tinubu know that they don't have choice now. They don't have choice. Who they want support? So the noise is just part of the to keep the
fire
system going. So they know Obi is serious. That's part of it too. They know Obi is serious. So those Northerners, those people, they are game. They actually understand what they are. The one that are more prepared. They are prepared.
I don't think so. Why were they planning a coup?
It's part of the takeover now. If to say they succeed, therefore they will say no. It's part of it.
The country would have scattered. It would have been like June 12th Mahala.
But they will be in power then. If you are in charge of the harmony when country scatter, you have an advantage.
Look. This was what Babangida did. You get the point? It was only one ethnic group, the Yorubas, who removed him from office. When he said he's stepping aside, they made Western Nigeria ungovernable. You get me?
Yeah.
So they would have found it impossible to set up that government if they had succeeded in top.
No, what I'm saying, I'm not saying they will set up, but once they take out the government president and they are in charge, they're in charge of the armory. That's what it means.
No,
once they're in charge of the armory,
would they fight the whole country at the same time?
Huh?
Would they fight the whole country at the same time when there's rebellion?
No, you see, I think we don't understand. The question is that what do they have to lose? We don't ask that question enough. They don't have anything to lose. So if this country scatter, it's okay.
Those soldiers, they should lock them. They should lock them up till the end of the administration.
I don't even believe in that. I don't. Yeah, I don't even believe in that story, Seth. I don't believe in that story.
They don't even deserve. I don't think they deserve being tried in any court of law. They should just lock them up, let them rot there till the end of the administration. So
I think they are just making it up.
No, they cannot just lie against people like that. There are too many.
They do them every year now. They do them every president.
They plan something. They plan something.
They do it every president. During Buhari too, there was rumor of coup. There's always like that. So that's why I don't think they're serious. But if war broke out, the North doesn't have anything to lose. That's one thing people should understand.
No, there might be no war because who is going to fight who? Who is going to? Is it the Igbo who will fight the Yorubas, or Yorubas fight Igbo, or the South will fight the North, or not? Who is going to fight who? The only thing is that the system will break down. There will be no law, no order. There will be confusion everywhere. But that kind of Nigerian Biafran war of 1967 cannot repeat itself again. That civil war, the alliance has already collapsed.
Yeah. They have too much. Yeah, they have too much money. They have too much money now. I think they have so much to lose if they go that far. Those who have the money, so they will do everything to.
No, but in 1967, people had money, though they were few. They could not stop the war from breaking out. Anyway, there will be no war from the local things. unless something unexpected happens. With this foreign interference in our internal affairs now, anything can come out of it.
Yeah, nothing. There will not be war. There will not be peace. That's what I know. It will just, and that's what America wants. That's it. They are not after peace. They don't want war either. So they just keep it off and on. Now, these people are just interested in just rotating power. That's it. They are not interested in anything else. They don't. If they want to industrialize, which should also be the next thing. They're not talking about electricity. They're not talking about but so they're not interested. There's no these people, these men from Showore. I think he's the youngest now. This is all of them like that. They are wasted. They are gone. Then the generation that will be delivered, that will fight, that will actually change things. I don't think they are born yet. I will
That is
argue
it.
they are not yet born.
That is if there will be Nigeria to be delivered, because I believe
Okay.
the country is
That's another thing.
redemption. The country is beyond redemption.
That's another thing entirely. See?
So, Mr. Obie, make I go. It's getting inching to 10 o'clock in the Gambia.
All right. You just have to 5 years. Thank you, Mr. Jeff.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night. Have a good night.
Amen.
All right.
Most people make one terrible mistake investing. They never sell. If all you ever do is buy and hope the market will always go up,
Said chairman forum of the African Democratic Congress's former factional leadership in the party and has rejected the party's faction led by David Mark and Matthew Bala. And the federal government today resumed the prosecution of over 500 alleged terrorists captured across different parts of the country. Hello everyone, welcome to the program and thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I am Sean Kimale right here in Abuja. Let's begin by letting you know that yet another exit from the People's Democratic Party. A former presidential aspirant and chieftain of the PDP, Mr. Gbenga Hashim Olawepo, has resigned from the party. He cited failed reconciliation efforts and describing the Nyesom Wike-backed PDP as an appendage of the ruling Progressive Congress APC. Mr. Hashim Olawepo told journalists today at a news conference in Abuja that he will be joining forces with other pro-democracy citizens to stop what he called a slide into totalitarianism and one-party state. Hashim was a founding member of the PDP in 1998, where he served as the first Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the party. Take a listen to him.
I have officially resigned my membership of the PDP, and I've made a formal statement to that effect. And the concern for me was that the PDP was now going to become a platform for the endorsement and coronation of the APC official candidate who is the incumbent. So I can no longer continue on this platform. So I'm going to team up with any group of Nigerians who want to prevent Nigeria from becoming a one-party state. This is not just about anybody's presidential ambition. It's more serious than that. It's about preserving the multi-party structure of democracy, which was the legacy our founding fathers of independence handed over to us.
If I was going to do this, I needed better training, better understanding. TWP has provided all the training, a good opportunity to have more of a community, other people that are experience some of the same problems you do, some of the same successes. You hear their success stories and share ideas. You know, that's actually been a little more than I had expected. I figured, you get trained, you go do your thing.
I think what excites me the most about it is the fact that you have a coach along the way. It's kind of like a mentor, and you're not just out there trying to figure things out and guess on your own. So there's someone to kind of hold your hand along the journey and walk you through the entire program if you need it.
Blue gold is a staple in my house. Why? Because they really work. So Blue Chew Gold works because it actually targets the brain. It combines apomorphine and oxytocin, which play a significant role in cell function. The frustration that amounts from trying so many other things can be heartbreaking, and it can really take a toll on your relationship, right? So if you're married,
Mr. Gbenga Hashim Olawepo there, resigning from the PDP. Well, let's tell you also that the federal government today resumed the prosecution of 500 alleged terrorists captured across different parts of the country. Among those arraigned and convicted by the Federal High Court in Abuja was a father of 3, Shehu Buka, who was jailed for 20 years for selling goods to Boko Haram insurgents in Borno State. Whereas the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and the Director of Public Prosecutions of the Federation, Mr. Oyedepo SAN, were physically in court to handle the trials for the federal government. And The federal government says it is committed to ensuring that justice is served, especially in the areas of cases involving terror attacks and terrorism-related matters in Nigeria. Take a listen to the AGF.
Phase 9, don't forget, for Phase 9 we have 500 in all, and it will last till either Friday or Saturday. It is our hope that for this, of these 500, we'll be able to go very, very far. The matter continues tomorrow. It will also be on Thursday, Friday, and if need be, Saturday. Nobody will be convicted unless the law is satisfied the provisions of the law, and that's why we are here. It is in the open. It's not a secret trial. You will see where confessions are made, where proof is given. Everything is in the public glare, and you can see things for yourself. What has taken the Director General of Legal Aid Council to also forgo his holiday this period is also appreciated. So everybody is here. You have the full compliments of the Federal Ministry of Justice, especially the Public Prosecutions Department, ably led by the Director of Public Prosecutions of the Federation, Rotimi Amaechi.
The Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN there. Now, our attention is on the ailing and the very, very troubling situation in the opposition African Democratic Congress, ADC, and there are a lot of issues. Another drama erupted today where we saw yet another group that has emerged, but that gets our attention tonight on the program. We're still with some of your political roundup stories, and when you're up to speed, we come back and begin your conversation tonight.
President Bola Tinubu says his administration remains determined to build a police force that is well-equipped, well-trained, and well-motivated to confront the complex security challenges in the country. He gave the assurance at the grand finale of the 2026 National Police Day held in Abuja. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president also called for shared responsibility by the citizens in policing the nation. Former governors of the Southeast region have commended the Southeast governors for throwing their weight behind the re-election bid of President Bola Tinubu, describing it as strategic. Speaking after a closed-door meeting in Enugu, the former governor of Ebonyi State and the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, told journalists that the former leaders formed their forum today to provide support to the governors on national and regional matters. In attendance are the former governors of Enugu State, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, and Governor Sullivan Chime, former governor of Ebonyi State, Martin Elechi, former governor of Anambra State, Chris Ngige, former governor of Abia State, Okezie Ikpeazu. The Kwara State chapter of the All Progressives Congress Elders Caucus has intensified the 2027 political conversation by calling for the emergence of a consensus governorship candidate from Kwara North. Addressing journalists in Ilorin, the caucus, who spoke through Mr. James Ayeni, urged Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak to immediately begin the process of selecting party candidates to avoid internal wranglings ahead of the next general elections. The elders warned that delays in setting guidelines for candidate selection could fuel unhealthy rivalry and armed tactics among aspirants already jostling for the APC ticket. The Social Democratic Party SDP presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, Adewale Adebayo, has criticized the administration of Bola Tinubu over what he described as inadequate response to Nigeria's worsening security situation. Adebayo made the remarks during a visit to Angwan Rukuba in Plateau State, where at least 29 people were killed in a Sunday night attack with several others injured. He accused the federal government of paying lip service to security, noting that the continued loss of lives and destruction of property across the country points to a failure of leadership.
I asked my husband, when did you get so big? His confidence hits different with Rougiette Ready. It dissolves under his tongue, works in 15 minutes on average, and can last for up to 36 hours. Rougiette Ready is the first ED formula with apomorphine, which helps fire up arousal signals in the brain, combined with sildenafil and tadalafil to amplify arousal and performance, not just blood flow. Honestly, he gets harder erections, he gets bigger erections, and yes, we have better sex. It's also up to 3 times stronger than generic ED meds, and 81% of men say they prefer Ready over other ED treatments. Now, I get why. He gets prescribed 100% online. It ships discreetly to our door, and it starts at just under $8 per dose. Fast-acting, long-lasting, built for confidence. Check out Rougiette Ready today.
There you have it. You've been served with your political roundup stories. Let me take you right in the center of the ADC leadership crisis, so you can have a front seat understanding of what is wrong with the political party and perhaps the future, as we have just about a month or so left to determine who is going to be the presidential candidate of the party and whether the party is fit enough to be on the ballot based on what INEC said. So today, some state chairman of the African Democratic Party, loyal to the 2023 presidential candidate of the party, Mr. Rotimi Amaechi, have backed the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC's decision to delist the David Mark-led leadership chairman of the Mark leadership and that of Rauf Aregbesola. The chairman of the Abia State chapter of the party, Mr. Don Norma Obinna, said that these are the news conference in Abuja, and according to him, the decision was reached after a National Executive Committee meeting held in Abuja. The ADC group, who also announced the plan to convene a national convention of the party, has set up an interim executive of the party, dissociating themselves from the David Mark and Nafiu Bala Gombe group of the ADC, and saying that the leadership of the ADC under the party's 2023 presidential candidate, Rotimi Amaechi, is legal and authentic. Take a listen to him.
Arising from an emergency NEC meeting held today, the 7th of April 2026, the NEC therefore resolved and states as follows. 1. We dissociate the ADC from David Mark, Rauf Aregbesola, Bolaji Abdullahi, Professor Sumbo, and all members of the so-called coalition who attempted to hijack our party, and state that all actions taken by them in the name of the ADC are not binding on the ADC. 2. We dissociate the ADC from the claims of Nafi Gombe and firmly and unequivocally state that he has never held the position of deputy chairman of the ADC. 3. The ADC remains a party of and for all Nigerians, and not just for former political office holders and the elites. The ADC is also not for sale. 4. The people who have called themselves the coalition have no democratic credentials and are only interested in the power grab, as evidenced by the way and manner in which they attempted to hijack our party and throw out the original members. 5. We affirm that our former presidential candidate, Mr. Atiku, is a committed and bona fide member of the party, whose purported expulsion by David Mark-led group was an act of desperate taking too far. Now, 6, we put on notice all embassies and high commissions in Nigeria that the David Mark-led coalition are not members of the ADC and thus speak for the African Democratic Congress. So we are saying that we are here to continue where, as we are right now, we are not speaking for David Mark or Gombe. We are speaking for the ADC because ADC supersedes every other person here. ADC, before David Mark came into the party, ADC was existing. It was there before all of us joined the party. So what we're trying to do is to save the party from, immediate danger, so that, Nigerians will see us to rely on, because outside the ruling party right now, ADC is the credible alternative.
All right. That is their position today. They said they are the state chairman of the ADC and have come together knocked off Bala Gombe, knocked off David Mark, and accused them of hijacking the party. But that looks like a crime for those who are hijacking. If now officially, maybe or legally speaking, David Mark and the rest are now alleged hijackers of the ADC. We'll be looking at what that means. Where the development has raised critical legal and electoral questions, particularly around recognition by the INEC and whether the party risks complications ahead of the 2027 general elections, with the internal disputes now threatening the party cohesion. Concerns are also mounting over the broader implications for Nigeria's electoral framework and democratic stability. Joining me tonight is Bolaji Abdullahi, one of the alleged hijackers. He's the National Publicity Secretary of the ADC. Is live for us. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you very much.
So you're a suspected hijacker.
I'm a suspected hijacker.
Yeah.
So
Your name was mentioned.
Yes, I had it. You know, it's okay. I mean, it's okay, Sheol. Good to see you again.
Thank you so much.
I must commend you for the work you are doing.
Thank you.
Commend you for your courage and I believe that what is going on is the manifestation of the same, to paraphrase the late Bola Ige, is just another hand of the same leprous fingers. Having seen that the Nafiu Bala Gombe case will, under no legal circumstance, hold any waters. Now they've found refuge. They found alternative in some of these state chairmen. But we have 37 state chairmen. How many of them have gathered here to say what they are saying? You know, so for us, our Congress starts on the 9th, and we are proceeding with it. Some of them have issued statements that they will not be part of it. They are welcome not to be part of it. The process that brought in the leadership of the ADC is very clear. It's legal, without prejudice to the fact that the case is before the Federal High Court. Now, they mentioned Dumebi Kachiku. Have we forgotten that on the 6th of March, the Federal High Court, the Federal High Court dismissed the case that he brought against the leadership of David Mark. I think that was Justice Joyce Abdul Malik, under the basis that the case was not justiciable, that it was wholly an internal affairs of the political party, and the court dismissed the case. So we have not heard that he has appealed this. We have not heard that he has gone to any court. Now he sees an opportunity now to start rallying some of these disgruntled state chairmen and to open a... So what the court denied him is trying to get from a press conference. So, but like I said, we see it as a continuation of the same effort to destabilize, our party. But we are not,
So let me, and I'm going to ask you a frank and direct question about what this is all about. And my question to you tonight will be, before it is too late, don't you think that it is now time to vote, considering that this party, to leave the party, to jet out?
Why should
because it's looking almost too precarious for you, or too dangerous, too fragile for you to say this is the party you want to take to the polls.
Sure, it's not the party.
Legally speaking, Mr. Abdullahi,
yes.
You're going to commit the destiny, the political future of a lot of innocent people into this party, and at the last minute, don't forget, in the next 1 month, we are going to determine who the candidates of the parties are.
Sure, it's not the party. It is the people. ADC has been existing for how many years? Did anybody ever mention ADC? The guy from Abia that said that ADC
they are
is a
preparing
credible
for
alternative.
consensus
What makes
candidate.
ADC a credible
Don't
alternative?
worry about
ADC has existed since maybe 1995 or so, or 2005 or so. Did anybody? It was just a portmanteau political party that they used to collect money from state governors and all that. We made ADC what ADC is today. That today 2.8 million people have registered for ADC. That was what we did. So it is not the party. Have you not heard what has started with the NDC? So if we move to another party tomorrow, the same dark hands that destabilize all the other political parties will creep into that space
Who
as
is
well.
this dark hand?
It is the ruling party.
Do you have evidence today? Or you just making...
Let me ask you a question. You asked me if I have evidence, and some other people have asked me, what evidence do you have? Have you ever seen a witch that has blood on her mouth? But since this issue of Nabil Balagombe happened, who has been celebrating it? I've listened to the spokespersons of the government. They've been talking as if they were lawyers to Nabil Gombe. Bayo Ononuga actually tweeted Nabil Gombe as the national chairman of PDP. So it is the same agenda. They want a situation whereby when we arrive in 2027, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be the only viable contestant. This is the agenda. It is the reason they decapitated the PDP, now made it an appendage of the ruling party now. It is the reason they destabilized the Labour Party. It's the reason they destroyed NNPP. It is the reason they, all the Labour, all the SDP, it's the reason they did all this. Now, when we started the coalition, don't forget, it is the destruction and destabilization of these other political parties that brought the coalition leaders together. So that, just like you are advising, let's find alternative elsewhere. Don't let us be bogged down by this instability and uncertainty. Then we moved, we say, okay, we did our due diligence, and we moved into, we made sure we crossed. It took 15 months to dot every I's and cross every T's. Then we arrived here. At the beginning, they say, oh, those people, their ambition will scatter them. Oh, they are not serious people. They are disgruntled, power-drunk people. Then they began to see that we're making progress. Then the final straw that broke the camel's back in their reckoning was when they saw the mammoth crowd that welcomed us in Kano. They panicked at that moment, and they felt that they needed to do something. This ADC is no longer a party they could ignore. Then they panicked, and they began to do all this.
Why would you say that the APC, and rationally speaking, because that's what the APC will claim, they say, look, they've got all the governors. Why should they be afraid of ADC that doesn't have a governor, no senator, no member of the House of Reps, except the ones that just defected?
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you, and if you listen to the Senator David Mark at the press conference, he asked this same question directly to President Bola Tinubu. He said, President Tinubu, you have 32 governors. You have almost the entire National Assembly in your party. What are you afraid of? He asked this question.
Is it fair to ask the president that question? Okay. Is the president the culprit in this? Why would you think the president is a suspect in it? Why would he be pointing accusing fingers at him?
If the president of Nigeria, who also claimed to be a Democrat, is witnessing all this, and he feels comfortable with it, and he doesn't see a role for himself as a statesman, that it doesn't look good for our democracy. We fought for this democracy. Like my brother Gbenga Olawepo said, Nigeria, our fathers, our grandfathers did not bequeath to us a one-party state. When other African countries were operating one-party state, Nigeria remained a multi-party democracy from 1960 up till today. What? So he said, all these things that are happening is strange to us. So for someone who is a committed Democrat, you will expect him to be concerned that no, the mere fact that he's been accused of trying to establish, he wouldn't just say, oh, the game is sweet if you are winning. Oh, I'm not going to solve your problems for you. But he doesn't know that the Minister of FCT, your very good friend, Nyesom Wike, had the jugular of PDP in his hand and ensured that it destroyed it. He was not aware of that. He was not aware that all his spokespersons and everyone around him had been celebrating the destabilization of PDP, of ADC. He was not aware that the moment we went to Bauchi to speak with Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State, that his national chairman ran and started making offers to him. He's not aware of that. So, you see, all this, the president can claim not to be aware.
Mr. Abdullah,
but the point I'm making...
You're blaming everyone in this ADC except yourselves.
So what's that?
I mean, you're a very experienced strategist. You were one of the backbones of Bukola Saraki political structure. You've been a minister, you've been a commissioner, you have a former Senate president, you have former governors, and you are You watched until this happened. Is it not naivety? And you're blaming every other person except yourselves for what you have brought on yourselves.
Sure, I think you are making a mistake, and I think you are blaming the victim. And why would I say so? From day one, we left our political parties for a reason. We left because those parties were destabilized. That's not our fault. We didn't destroy the PDP. We didn't destroy the Labour Party. We didn't decapitate the NNPP. We didn't do that. We were victims of those destabilization and decapitation. And it was a search for alternative that took us to ADC. And we did everything within the law to ensure that everything that we needed to do, we did to get into ADC. So, are there relationships that ought to have been managed better or differently? I will agree. I think there are some things that probably would have been managed in terms of relationship, right? But but as an institution, as a leadership, within the presence of the law, we did everything that we need to do. Now, don't let us, I get the point you are making, but the forces that are determined to destroy our party today, we will not talk about them. We will not talk about an INEC chairman under whose INEC is no longer an umpire, but is becoming a vampire to opposition political party. We're not going to talk about that. Where did Professor Amaechi get the power to remove the leadership of the ADC? Which appeal court, which court in Nigeria gave him that power? You have interrogated this issue on your program. I've watched a lot of your videos. And you had senior lawyers who told you that what he did was wrong. It's not too late for him to apologize to Nigerians and said he was ill-advised, even though he's a professor of law. But at the end of the day, we'll come back to the same issue. What kind of situation, what kind of democracy are we desirous of building in Nigeria? Certainly, this is not a democracy.
So it is right that you are newcomers to the ADC. It is right also, and a fact also, that the Bala Gombe, Rafu,
who is now being abandoned by his colleagues.
I mean, all of them were the former landlords of this party. And now they are now claiming that you have hijacked. And the likes of Leke Abejide, who was the only House of Reps member in the ADC, whom some people say was the national leader of that party, was kept aside.
No. You see, again, you are misrepresenting. The reason Kogi...
Was he carried along?
Hang on a second. The reason Kogi ADC expelled Leke Abejide was because he consistently maintained that ADC will not have a presidential, that it's only President Tinubu that he will support. He's a member of our party, but he was busy campaigning that there will be no presidential candidate apart from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The records are there. You had him. If you want to check, you can check the videos. So how would we keep in our party someone who said he had a different presidential candidate? He wanted to be playing in ADC the role that the Minister of FCT was playing in PDP. And we said, no, ADC under David Mark will not be that kind of political party.
Now, if you look at it, legally speaking, based on the powers of the regulator, there is no leadership in the ADC.
Technically, yeah.
So how do you hope that whatever that you're doing going forward is going to be valid and legally binding?
Well, like I said, before I came on this program, I had a bit of time. I was watching some of your videos, and I watched the interview you had with the former legal advisor of the INEC.
Director of
the INEC. And he answered this question. You asked him this question, and he answered. He said, as far as law is concerned, after giving INEC 21 days notice, there is nothing that stops the ADC from proceeding with its Congress. The decision of INEC to monitor or not to monitor is optional. As long as we give them, and we did give them 21 days notice, which they acknowledged, and it was after that we started making preparation. So if INEC, the same INEC that swore to an affidavit that it was aware of the leadership change in ADC, is now turning around to say what they are saying, they are not going to stop us.
I'd like you to respond to what the state chairman today in that statement. They've knocked off your group. They've knocked off Bala Gombe group. How do you react to this? Do you have an official position on this?
I've told you we are not going to. See, a few weeks ago, these same individuals went to court. They initiated legal proceedings against the party, even before all this brouhaha started. But when majority of the chairmen began to distance themselves from their actions, we know them, we know the ringleaders, we know them. So when other chairmen began to distance, then they could not proceed with it. So it's the same individuals that are now coming together, finding a rallying point against who? Their former presidential candidate, the Dumebi Kachuku, the same man that they expelled from the party. We didn't expel him from the party. They had already expelled him from the party before we joined the ADC. So it's the same person now under who they've now found a canopy. So, and like I told you, it's the same thing. It's the continuation of the same, and it's just another episode in the same theater. You know,
you think these people are just machinery in the hands of fifth columnists or those who are?
They are. Of course they are. I know these individuals. I don't want to talk too much about individuals. We know the efforts. We know the effort that have been made to get these people. After we moved into the coalition, the chairman of the party, David Mark, called all the state chairmen to his house, and he assured all of them that we will not chase you away. We will keep you here. You are the chairman of our party, and you remain the chairman of the party until your tenure expires. That was the promise. And though some of them had started causing problems within their respective teams, because don't forget they are used to certain kind of things, Senator David Mark said, I promised them, when people were pushing for them to be dissolved, which is within the power of the national chairman to do by the constitution, he said, no, I promised them, I gave them my word. And he continued to protect them up to today. And now we are going to Congress and say, any of you that is desirous of remaining chairman should also contest the position in the party. You can't remain, this is not longer the ADC where you remain chairman for 12, 15 years. Some of them have been chairman of the party for 20 years. And they actually tell you proudly that I've been the chairman of this party in the last 15 years. I say, and you have not won one councillor? One councillor you have not won, and you say you are chairman of the party for 15 years? So it's the same individuals that are coming forward claiming to own the party.
So, frankly speaking, there are no plan B for you and your group.
We don't want to talk about our options here. Of
course. Do you have options?
No. You see, we have approached the court. We have approached the court. Our lawyers were in court today to file all the necessary...
I'm not talking about legal option. No. I'm talking about the political option.
That is a matter of strategy that I will not discuss here.
So you don't have options?
I will not talk about it here.
This basket is leaking.
You
might not be able to get the water across the line.
I will not talk about it here.
All right, we'll take a break. There is a threat of a boycott by the ADC in the election, but will the APC, as a ruling party, go all by itself as a prominent party on the ballot in 2027? If the ADC says, and other opposition political parties say they will boycott the election, but we'll be finding out from Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi whether or not the ADC will be boycotting, should anything change or not change after now.
ADC know exactly what they are doing. They are buying time, even though there is no time. At the end of the day, they will settle for a consensus candidate. They will tell you there is no time because of what INEC is doing to them. There is no time to organize direct or indirect primary. We are coming together to form a consensus. And this is what we choose. And we are choosing Atiku Abubakar. Obi them go verse. Go. Uncle Joseph goes day until the last minute. Uncle Joseph will move. So we're gonna know to celebrate. That's why I keep wanting the obedience. The obedience should be focused on searching for who their running mate
is going to be? Who is going to be Obi vice, Obi deputy? Because Konkoso is not going to be. Konkoso was even asked in Hausa if he's going to deputize Obi, and his response was, "Why Obi? There's Amaechi in the party. There's Atiku in the party. There are other people. So why Obi?" That's an interesting way to say, "Fuck off. Enough of that nonsense. Obi can give me what I want." So we have interesting times ahead. I feel sorry for the obedient. They are just playing with their emotion. They traumatize them every step of the way. So I wouldn't be too much excited if I be obedient for now. If you focus on two things, which party will jump enter? If the consensus go to favor Atiku, and who is going to be the running mate? So I'm proposing Tambawa and Erufai. They are both from Northwest. That would automatically justify Konkoso. Tinubu will go after Konkoso. Tinubu no get choice. I believe that deal has already been struck. I believe a deal has already been struck. And that deal is, I think that deal was struck in Paris.
Staying with us, Malam Balaji Abdullahi is the National Publicity Secretary of the ADC, albeit is carrying that title. Also tonight declared a suspect hijacker of one of the hijackers of the ADC, as alleged by the state chairman of the ADC.
Some of the state chairman.
Some of the some of them.
A few of them actually.
Actually, but then in the real sense of it. And I was asking you whether or not you have a plan B, you should have a plan C. And I don't think the John Oyegun, the David Mark, the Rauf Aregbesola, the Atiku Abubakars, the Peter Obis of this world, who have now found, and the Tambuas of this world, who have found themselves in the ADC, who now have themselves stripped of any possibility of any contest in 2027, considering what is happening. But it looks very, very possible. In fact, the chances, if you wait, might look almost 65 or 70% that the ADC might not be able to field any candidates in 2027. I hate to be to say yes, I said so. But if you remember, Mr. Balaji Abdullahi, although you disagree with me, and you called me names on this program the day I was telling you that it would come to this, and you never thought that things would get this awry for the group. But the question here is that if you don't have a plan B, what is the fate of those 2-point-something million people that have joined?
You're assuming we don't have plans.
I'm asking, but you
never
said
saying.
so.
You're assuming.
You have refused to say
I say no. I don't want to say it. You don't announce your strategy to the public when your enemies are listening.
If you do have, you say you have.
No,
but I'm asking, do you have?
We do have options. We do have
political options.
We do have options. All options. One thing I can guarantee is that we will contest the 2027 election.
On the ADC platform?
We will contest the 2027 election on the ADC platform.
How do you want to do that? Should I do the permutation from you, sir? Should I give you a quick summary?
Hang on, Sheol. Regardless of what has happened to Nigeria, we are confident, we still have confidence in the judiciary. And we believe that we have a slam dunk case. And we believe that if we are granted the accelerated hearing today and the court seats, we are confident that justice will be done. We have no doubt in our mind about that. While we are preparing for the best, while we are hoping for the best, we are also preparing for the worst. What that worst case is, I will not tell you. But what we will not do is to roll over and die. Because to give up, to roll over, is to be complicit in the destruction of Nigeria's multi-party democracy. And we will not be complicit.
Is there anything wrong with Nigeria multi-party? Is there anything?
Of course.
Is it?
I know you're just playing the devil's advocate.
No, but I'm asking.
Because the handwriting is very
you have almost 20 or more political parties in Nigeria.
Come on. You see, all those other countries where you say they have one party state, it's not that there are no other political parties. You see all these small political parties hanging around, that they call and give money, just like many of these political parties have been. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to real electoral contest in Nigeria, even if we have like 30 political parties, it comes down to 2-3 political parties at the end of the day. Now, when you have destroyed all the political parties that are likely to pose any challenge, any real challenge at the election, and what you are left with are these small political parties that are not likely to even field presidential candidates or who have never won one councillorship, and you say, oh, we have multi-party democracy. That is pseudo multi-party democracy. That is false democracy. And we are saying, in the African Democratic Congress, we are saying Nigeria will not become a one-party state in our generation. We will do everything within the law to resist it. You see, what is bringing all this? I'll tell you. President Bola Tinubu believes in numbers, polls. They believe in polls. They've done polls. And the numbers are bad.
Bad for you or bad for them?
Bad for them. Because Nigerians, they have the governors, they have that, but Nigerians... You
don't think that they are popular on the ground now?
No, Nigerians don't want them anymore. Tell me one thing that they have done that Nigerians will say, oh, we are happy, let them continue.
It's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. Right now, you've got two paths. You can keep trading like a retail trader, guessing, over-leveraging.
One thing.
So the feeling now, the feeler that you are getting is that there is a tacit political rejection of the APC and the Tinubu government.
They have evidence.
And you have a feeling that
they have evidence that Nigerians have rejected them. And that answers the question of why they will have 32 governors, will have almost everybody in the National Assembly, and have everything, and still be panicking, and still be, because they know the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. The numbers aren't looking good. They know that they are not popular, that Nigerians don't want them. And that is why they are doing what they are doing.
All right. So let me give you a scenario, and politically speaking, why things might not be looking well for the ADC. First and foremost, the election calendar is so choked. Yeah. And you see that the review under the new electoral act regime, it looks, everything now rolls backwards, and you have to do things faster, and primaries are going to come faster, and a lot of the processes are going to come way earlier than they used to be, meaning that you don't have the time. You know that the court cases also they're not really fast. The judicial wheel doesn't grind as fast, and it doesn't grind according to the election calendar. It means that you will be short of time because the judicial process is going to be sluggish and the election timetable is going to be running. And at the end of the day, all of the decision, if you go ahead, who says that the court is not going to upturn it? And it's a 50-50 chance if you go to court. That's another angle to it. You are not certain that if you go to court, you are going to get, the judgment is going to be in your favor. So while it looks like you are risking it all, if you ask any risk strategist, he will tell you that the best option for you is to make ADC your second boat. Get a first boat, get a boat A, and make ADC your plan B, as it is right now. And you don't like what I'm saying, because you'll never like it. But I'm always being frank with you. And I've done the analysis.
Hang on, I actually admire you. Maybe we should come and hire you as our strategist.
I mean, what I'm doing right now is just enough.
No, but what we are saying is that you think we've not thought of this? You think we don't know what we are doing?
Maybe your strategy isn't working well.
You think the collective experience of all the people you have mentioned, they don't know what they are doing? You think we are kids who just find ourselves here today, that we've not thought of all these options? Come on.
Maybe your strategy isn't working so well.
Come on.
Because how will Bala be messing? Bala is literally dragging you guys, the whole of you. Is all of you against Bala? What Bala is messing the whole of you up? Yeah, that's what it looks like.
No. I don't want to talk about it. He's my very good friend. We're colleagues in the federal cabinet, and I don't want to say things that will appear uncomplimentary to him. Right? But there is something to say for being constant and being stable and standing for something, not being mercantile about everything. Right? There's something to say about that. But that's not our discussion. Our discussion is that let the court in Nigeria pronounce judgment on the David Mark-led leadership of the ADC. INEC does not have the power to do that. Nobody else has the power to do that.
Are you challenging the powers of INEC in this regard?
It's not challenging. It doesn't have the power.
No, but are you challenging?
It's not challenging. I can't challenge you. I can't challenge you over
to regulate to regulate political parties.
You can regulate, but do you have the power to determine the leadership of a political party?
But
do you have the power?
It's interpreting a court order.
A judgment that says you can leave a political party without leadership. Is that what the Court of Appeal rules?
Is that
the definition of
forward?
Is just playing Pontius Pilate? I mean, did the Court of Appeal say you should leave a political party without leadership? Where did INEC get the power to invent that curious interpretation of the Court of Appeal ruling? You see, we're not going to surrender to this. And it's not about it's saying that INEC does not have the power to do that. And we're not the only people saying it. People, senior lawyers who have aligned, who were previously aligned with INEC or affiliated to INEC have said the same thing.
Let me ask you, Mr. Abdullahi, there are propositions by opposition forces who say if things don't go well, they will boycott this election. Is that the plan?
We are not going to boycott. Like I said, to boycott, to consider something as boycott is to surrender. I mean, you boycott, then what? You boycott, you make headlines and all that, then what? We carry the fate of millions of Nigerians in our hands. Millions of Nigerians who have had to endure untold hardship in the last 3 years or so expect us to provide alternative. Millions of Nigerians who are living under fear, who have lost husbands, who have lost wives, who have lost relatives, are expecting an alternative. They don't want a continuation of what is going on. So we boycott. I will continue. We are not going to boycott. It's not even a consideration. If that's what they are wishing for, we will not boycott. We don't even consider this to be crisis. Crisis is Iran. This is not crisis. This is politics. And we are ready for it.
So no boycott, you going ahead. But should all, and this is what strategies will map out, will say, what if every of my options are negative? What then is my option? These are some of the critical questions you ask yourself. What if it's Mayday all the way? What is your last option? And perhaps the implication, because I'm sympathizing with you.
You are tenacious.
Yeah, I'm sympathizing with you. Because all of them, for 2.8 million people, I see new caps. In fact, some of the leaders who don't wear the first caps are now wearing it. It shows that the orange cap. Yeah. I mean, and I don't want things to really go red for you because it's in the orange.
Thank you for your
because I'm being selfish in one way. You know why? I've not voted since 1999. You know why I've not voted? No. Not because I'm not a Nigerian, not because I'm not of age, but because I'm always on the election field. You know what makes me happy? Is when on election day, I'm analyzing, I'm sitting and I'm talking about the election because there's competition. Yeah. And I'm happy, I'm looking forward to this election because I thought there will be competition. But they fear that if there is no competition, and that's what I'm worried. I want you guys to be on the ballot. But the question right there is that
competition. There will be competition.
Now, you guys have set the narrative, making it look like it's a bad precedent for our country, the manner in which things are going. But what is the danger in it? You said, oh, if Bola Tinubu, APC are on the one, what is the consequence? Is there implication for that?
I didn't get that.
I mean, the narrative your party has been painting is as though our country is sliding into a one-party state where we're going in one direction. The plan of the APC and Bola Tinubu is to be the only person on the ballot. Is there any danger in that? Is there any implication for that?
There is.
What is the danger?
Democracy is fundamentally about choice. And our founding fathers who wrote our constitution knew what they were doing. When they say a president should serve for 4 years, then renew his term, that's the American model, to renew his term. That means to go back to the people and ask for their mandate, right? So the people will decide whether that president has served them well or he has not served them well. Now, when you leave people with no option, it means that no matter how bad that government is, no matter how poorly that president has performed, the people will have no choice but to continue to endure that president for another 4 years. That is not what our constitution envisaged. What we are saying here is that our democracy faces an existential challenge such that we have never experienced in the history of Nigeria. And that is what is at stake. We are saying that for the first time in the history of Nigeria, Nigerians will go to the ballot and to go to the polls, will be handed their ballot paper, and they will not have any alternative. It's either they don't vote at all or they vote for President Bola Tinubu. That is what is at stake. The very definition of democracy is what is at stake. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. That is what is at stake. The very essence of everything Nigerians fought for against military rule is what is at stake. And that's why we are saying that for us to yield to that is to be complicit in the destruction of our democracy, and we will not.
So you are not comfortable with the Bola Tinubu trajectory in governance?
Who is comfortable apart from people singing on your mandate we shall stand? Who is comfortable? Are you comfortable that our president went to Jos Airport and announced that he had only 10 minutes, that there is no electricity, as if he did not have a duty to provide that electricity, and jet away went to Abeokuta to enjoy himself? Are we happy with that? Are we happy? This afternoon I was just seeing something. The same Lagos port, that we took 749 million pounds from the UK government, from the UK Citibank in the UK to fix. We had actually taken an earlier $1 billion or so last year. We have the evidence that was for the same project. Is that the kind of thing we want to continue? This opacity, this lack of transparency?
So is it the David Mark that was a military administrator, Senate president, or the Ralph Ragbeshala governor, Aminu Tambuwa, senator, governor? Why should Nigerians trust and look in the way of those of you who have come together? Why do you think we should trust you that you have better alternatives?
I'll tell you why. Because no party, to my knowledge, has invested the kind of energy, the kind of commitment, the kind of effort to provide alternative to what is going on now than the APC has done. You see, there's a clear realization within the African Democratic Congress, and that is why you can see it's a different political party. It's a political party. You cannot say this is the owner of this party or this is the person in control of this party, whether at the state level or at the national level. Because at that level, we sat down, we told ourselves that, look, the political class in Nigeria has become increasingly discredited. The people don't believe us anymore. Now we have an opportunity to build something that is genuine. Okay, I'll tell you something.
Just give me a moment, sir. And I'm going to send you, there is a particular article written by Mark Adebayo. He titled it "The Architect of His Own Ruin: Why the Nigerian Opposition is Responsible for His Own Impotence." It's a good read. And it will tickle your fancy. But we'll go on another break. And when we come back, we're concluding our conversation right here.
Nigerians' commitment to achieving universal health care coverage is reflected in the unwavering dedication of my administration to uphold this right for every individual.
They advertise for Shehu program. They were saying the speak for Nigeria. Isn't that incredible?
The absence of disease.
How much they pay for this ad?
The embodiment of
This na Tinubu na Shehu show, na Shehu program be this so. Na Tinubu they advertise is Renew Hope mandate, Renew Hope program. And they wonder why we saying go shoot them. They are busy for shoot them. This before I know this even ourselves. The Shehu they cash in. I will cash out. See, all this one na APC program, Abi. See, all this one na APC.
From our top
Don't you why?
chiefs.
Don't you why
Thank you so
APC
much, everyone,
advertisement?
for staying with us on the program. That
I don't
article is an
see
interesting read, which I
APC ad.
mentioned earlier.
I never think
The
I don't.
impotence of
Wait
the
a minute.
opposition, the architect of his own ruins.
I don't think I don't ever see the new Hope ad before. My first time to see this ad be this. It comes in a show. That's interesting, man. This is interesting. Very, very interesting. And Shehu, you come here the why we can go one shoot you when they are dropping you cool bar to run your show. You call the talk nonsense, to call the take side, call the support the other side. I think that's why we can one shoot up.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. That article is an interesting read, which I mentioned earlier. The impotence of the opposition, the architect of his own ruins, by Mark Adebayo. It's a very exciting conversation about how the opposition needs to also take itself seriously. That those who say, look, if you know Bola Tinubu, whom you know very well, you've been in the same political party, you know the guy doesn't joke. It's not, when he plays hardball. Politics is something that the guy understands very well. And underestimate him at your own peril. And the guy is playing hardball with you. The guy is not joking. The game has not even started. What gives you the confidence to be able to battle this man in wit, in policy, in ideas? How would Nigerians be convinced that these are new? Are you all now born again that Nigerians will think now that these politicians are now totally different?
You're asking me too many questions.
So it's just the same question.
No, hang on. You're asking me too many questions. The first question about President Bola Tinubu, then about whether Nigerians should.
It's just a preface to the question.
I'll tell you this. I will admit that President Bola Tinubu is very good at what he knows how to do, which is playing politics. But you don't continue to play politics all the time. There's time for that. There is time for governance. There is time for leadership. There is time to show. We are saying that this is what Nigerians have experienced in the last 3 years. This is what we are proposing. This is what we are presenting before Nigerians. And this is how we plan to implement it. And for the first time, we are saying that this is not a candidate presenting its program to Nigerians. This is a party. And if you look at the theme of our last next meeting, we say party is supreme. That is deliberate. Because we are trying to turn away from the party of politics of big men to politics of political party, because it is the political party that we're housing.
So you guys are now born again. You are different people now, different orientation.
I don't know what you mean by different.
Because you've all played the same kind of politics before. You're sounding like you don't understand what you play politics with these people. Politics of big men.
Politics have been played. Politics of big men have been played. But we are saying enough is enough. Look at where it has led us.
That's why I'm asking whether you are born again now.
I don't want to say born again.
But is it time to say maybe you've turned a new leaf?
Yeah.
Because and that's the reason why my question really is that
we can say we have turned a new leaf. We have not.
And there's nothing wrong with a criminal who says I've repented. I've changed my ways.
Are you calling me a criminal?
I never called you. I'm saying there is nothing wrong.
Because
if those people who have played politics
beware of defamation.
Yeah, I know why we can watch.
God forbid a woman is looking for Rougiette and chill. It doesn't quite roll
Why
off
we
the
can
tongue,
go
but
shoot you?
let me explain. Rougiette Ready isn't just another pill for guys.
Fuck is
It
this,
dissolves
man?
under
Oh
the tongue.
shit.
No water, no need to pause the
Why we can go shoot
I
you?
said there is nothing wrong when a criminal. I never said this apology applies to a criminal. I said there is nothing wrong when a criminal said I've changed my way. The point I'm making is that if you guys say we played bad politics before, Nigerians forgive us, and we're going to play better.
On a serious
Who
note,
will take it? Forgive us, and we're going to play better.
On a serious
Who
note,
will take it?
On a serious note, there is a deep realization that we are in the mess that we have found ourselves today in this country.
Why did you find? What do you mean you find yourself?
In the past, and that if Nigeria is going to get out of that mess, it will depend
on
the kind
you
of
have
politics
minister
that we
of
choose to play going
sport.
We need to end there.
And that is where African Democratic
Couple of years
and that's what they don't want.
Malambola Jara, the suspect hijacker, one of the suspect hijacker of as alleged by those men. Thank you so much indeed. I appreciate your time on the program tonight. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. God bless Nigeria.
They will not go make everyone. Now I know why. Now I know why we can watch it out. Anyway, use grown men they play like that for TV, eh? But that was a good one. So I don't think I need to repeat it again. Now come 2027, we're going to have Konkoso, Tinubu Konkoso, Atiku-Amaechi, Obi, and Tambawa or Erufai on the other end. It's going to be 3 tickets like that. What is going on in the ADC? The plan performance. They will drag the thing to the last minute, and they will now say that there's no time for direct or indirect primaries. We just settle on consensus. And there's no other person than the big man himself. When the big man is in the house, you don't jump him. Usually you won't give. So that's what this ADC is all about. I said it. Big going to ADC doesn't make sense to me. And for that reason, I'm buying it. Uncle Johnny ADC too, I was like, doesn't make sense to me. It's not going to deputize Obi. But should I, in case I'm wrong, and they all decided to stay together, then I will support them. I will campaign for them. If ADC stay together, I will campaign for them. I'll brand my platform safe. But I ain't see that happening. If it happen, the platform they will turn to ADC platform. I'll put in more hours. But I bet that's not going to happen. So we'll wait for Tunaja work on rant over Trump. I don't know why, but let's listen to him. It's Trump, whole civilization will die. I don't know why these people still. I don't know why these people are still don't understand how Trump negotiate out of the deal. So let's see what's gonna go. Is that gonna happen, man? The time, interesting time. As they destroy bomb around, they go moon at the same time. Make it make sense. America is operating at a full capacity. They go moon. They are building mega factories everywhere. They are fighting wars, both religious war, trade war, was kinetic too. At the same time, leading the technology frontier too. So they ain't fucking around. They are operating at the full maximum. So it's an interesting time. It's an interesting time. Time to tell Trump no. These people are funny. Dare you tell Trump no? Who is you again? Maybe Tunanja is coming to tell Trump no.
Glimmer of hope.
No.
For now,
Enough
Iran
is enough.
it'll take the gloves off and hit the Gulf even harder, depriving the US and its allies of the
I'm going to
region's
join now
oil
so
and
that
gas for years to come,
you two never
threatening a
misbehave.
global energy crisis that will affect us all. We are facing a fateful moment in this war. What comes next could be massive escalation, or could there still be a way
I
out?
tell you, Tunanja,
Forces,
Europe
Jamie
is on its
Fowles, thought to
way
be among
out of
those trying to broker a
glory
narrative,
days.
says it's up to Iran to
Who know
make a
that's
deal.
what I mean?
I hope they make the right response, because what we really want is we want a world where oil and gas is flowing freely, where people can afford to heat their homes and cool their homes, where people can afford to transport themselves to work.
But what's happened today on the ground does not bode well. In some ways, it looks like America and Israel have already started their effort to bomb Iran back to the Stone Age, to quote the American president. Iran says 9 people were killed by a missile attack on a residential building in Sharia. 2 more killed when a railway bridge was hit in the city of Kashan. Strikes also targeted the Galeh-No bridge and a railway closer to Tehran. Another railway bridge attacked in Zanjan province near a village called Aminabad. And similar civilian targets in Iran's East Azerbaijan province, where a road bridge was hit. There have been power cuts reported in the Karaj province, where a railway was targeted. And then there's what happened in Kharg Island, the heart of Iran's oil industry, hit again ominously with multiple strikes by the US for the first time in weeks. International correspondent Diana Magne is in Jerusalem tonight, live to her after we speak to Mark Stone at the White House. Mark, we've learned not to be shocked by this president, but threatening a genocidal end of civilization in Iran seems to plumb new depths. Before we get on to that, some breaking news out of Pakistan tonight, giving us all a little bit of hope. What are they saying?
Yeah, look, I mean, yes, it's been a head-spinning day, without question. The president is in the West Wing at the moment. There is a Marine on the door. So we can assume that he is in the Oval Office, and we have heard from Caroline Levitt, who is his press secretary, that he is aware of a tweet from the Prime Minister of Pakistan, a tweet which is important, a statement which is important because it could represent the off-ramp that perhaps Donald Trump, well, would he like to take it? We don't know, but certainly I think the world is on edge, and as we wonder what might happen after this deadline, there are many who are hoping the off-ramp will be taken. The tweet, the statement from Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan reads as follows: diplomatic efforts for the peaceful settlement of the ongoing war in the Middle East are progressing steadily, strongly and powerfully, with the potential to lead to substantive results in the near future. To allow diplomacy to run its course, I earnestly request President Trump to extend the deadline for 2 weeks. Pakistan, in all sincerity, requests the Iranian brothers to open the Strait of Hormuz for a corresponding period of 2 weeks as a goodwill gesture. We also urge all warring parties to observe a ceasefire everywhere for 2 weeks to allow for diplomacy to achieve conclusive termination of war in the interests of long-term peace and stability in the region. Reading that, Dom, to me that feels like the most fulsome effort at diplomacy that we have heard for quite some time in this crisis, coming from the Prime Minister of Pakistan, a country which has been at the heart of the effort to try and find some common ground between the Americans, the Israelis on one side and the Iranians on the other side, a country which talks to both sides. And as I say, we know that the president, the American president, has seen this statement and is considering it. 8 p.m. Eastern time is the deadline that he has given before, well, depending on how seriously.
Yes, thank you, viewers. Thank you for joining me. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to subscribe. Look at the chat, and the link is there for you to like, share. It's important so that others can be able to join us. And thank you all for joining me this evening, and even if it's relatively short notice. I think the reason why I thought I should do this live is because we could be looking at a turning point in the human history if, you know, Trump decides to do what he threatened to do to Iran. We may witness things that has not happened in the world for the last 70 years, 80 years since the last World War. There are people suggesting that maybe Israel was going to use a tactical nuclear weapon against Iran, while others are saying it's just Trump is just bluffing. So clearly, whatever happens, if any of the threats, even a quarter of it occurs, Iran will retaliate and the world will spiral. If we think it is bad now, watch what happens when that happens. From what I've gathered, Iran will retaliate and destroy a lot of oil producing capacity in the Middle East, maybe everything really, and then ensure that the Strait of Hormuz is unusable for a very long time. And if that happens, the world economy is going to go into a tailspin. It will be hard to avoid a global recession, not to mention, some people even argue that there will be a depression. Hence why I thought, okay, if this is the case, it makes sense for one to pay attention, because these events, sometimes they occur, we get used to them, we get used to hearing about them, and we just make it look like it's normal. But these times may be those days, those times we'll remember in the future and say, oh my God, were you around when that happened? And did you know this was what was going to happen? Because people that were alive during the Second World War and the first one, You know, they were busy minding their business, only to find out that, you know, a king or something, or someone, a royal was shot. And before you know it, the world war has started. So you just don't know where it kicks off. And if some people suspect that Israel wants to use Pakistan, that's Iran, as a way of announcing itself as a nuclear power, there is also countervailing information that China and Pakistan has also threatened Israel that if they do that, there will be retaliation. So now you see the potential dangers of what is happening at the moment. And Trump clearly is under a lot of pressure. And this is why we have to be paying attention, because there was this, I think, I don't know if he's a professor, but definitely a doctor. He has done research on this. He calls it the escalation trap, that this is what happens when wars start. That they continue escalating and escalating. It's hard to ramp it back down. And clearly, the only people that will be, enjoying themselves and feeling happy right now is the Israelis. They are the only nation right now, as a nation, that is fine with this war. Maybe Saudi Arabia, maybe some of these Gulf nations, you never know where they belong. They always pretend as if they are against Israel, but they are not. They are on the side of Israel, and they work with Israel against Iran. And as if they don't know that Israel will come for them tomorrow. But it's all right. Let them do what they like. It's their country. So this is why I thought I should do this live, just for disclaimer, and so that people have an idea what, the reason why I cover these things, and how I approach things. I may come across as being a little bit one-sided here, this side, the other time, some other time, or I might come across as being biased to one side. I think that is not intentional. I don't want to offend anyone. And secondly, my whole intention is to try to analyze this or talk about these things in such a way that it aids understanding and enables us to get past this way of looking at the world whereby everything seems to be a zero-sum game. It shows you that human nature is a very strange thing. That is why we have to talk about these things. You know how people go to counseling, they go and sit down and talk about, because if you don't talk about it, how do you truly understand? How do you let off steam? How do you come to realization of where you are? So we talk about these things so that we can try to understand what is going on, and hopefully give ourselves better chance to be able to avoid the devastating negatives of some of the things that could happen if one doesn't have these type of conversations. So I'm not here to offend anyone, and personally, I do say a lot of things that people will find offensive, and sometimes I might even generalize, which once you generalize, you are likely to be wrong, but you'll find me generalizing. I hope you take the thrust of my argument, not necessarily the generalization. And that goes for everyone that comes on the panel later on. We are not here to, malign anyone. If anything, is the opposite. We've seen a lot of kind of nasty discourse or conversations that has led, even in the case of our country, it has led to a lot of venom, divisive way of looking at things, and the same has gone on in the world. It appears there are elements out there that are just hell-bent on tearing humanity to pieces. To what end, you ask? To what end? Why do we do these things that we do? I'm beginning to think that there is no real purpose to these things that they do. The purpose, the reason why they do it now is because they are used to it. It's a form of addiction. Just like Nigerians are used to, running a country that is dysfunctional, once a culture kicks in, it's very hard to break it. Even if most Nigerians know this is not right, but they still find it hard to break because there is something more than your personal will at play. The same is happening with the superpowers of the world. They are used to winning wars, destroying, getting away with it, breaking international law, getting away their own law. They created international law, they break it. And they are used to it. So it's hard to break that addiction, you know. Maybe I should be consulted, I probably need to put myself forward, I should, as a psychiatrist, a geopolitical psychiatrist, for Americans to come for counseling, a kind of war counseling, to help them deal with their urge to go to war, whenever they feel that itch, whether I will give them some kind of patchment, or some kind of maybe what they call this stuff that the mint or something, or breathing exercise, yoga or something, just give them something to keep them from, if they feel like they need to destroy Cuba, they're like, no, I don't need to destroy Cuba. We can manage ourselves. We can talk to them, There has to be something. Americans need some counseling, war counseling. And I put myself forward. Since nobody is, clearly nobody's qualified. I'm the only qualified person to counsel the Americans to calm down. And who else likes to fight wars? Oh, the Israelis. Oh no, those ones, they are high on it now. If war is a drug, they are so high. They are like this, like they are so high. It's like how can you break Israel out of their war addiction? It's extremely hard. They are a tough case, But I've put myself forward, because these things are rational. You know how they say that whenever they do these things, they always end up at the negotiating table. So what is the point of all the long killing each other and all that nonsense? What is the point of all that? You will still go and talk about it. It's a very strange phenomenon, isn't it? There are very few cases in the world where wars happen and you don't end up negotiating the settlement of the war. Like the Second World War and the first one, I think it was an outright victory, so there's no need to, negotiate. But that said, this issue, I was speaking to an American some years ago, and I told them, you guys, the way you are behaving, I look at your country and I think you guys are the most dangerous group in the world today. Not because you're a superpower, because you've not tasted defeat at home. You don't know what it's like. And you have won the First World War and you have won the second one. So you don't feel any need to share. I mean, when I say you, I'm not talking about the individual American, the state itself. They don't feel any need to share power. Why should they? They don't have any reason to. Nobody can beat them. After all, the times that people tried to beat them, they lost and they won. So why should they give up violence, the power of violence? And that's a conversation I had a few years ago. And I said, because of this, America is the most dangerous country in the world. And then it wasn't this dangerous even. It's not because I think America, their values, they don't value life, but it's just nature. Is the nature of living entities. As a matter of fact, this goes beyond human beings. It's the nature of living entities. When you are rewarded by certain behavior, you are likely to do it again and again and again and again. You will not stop, and you will not know when to stop. And I don't know of any empire that was stopped just like that. They have to be stopped. How do you stop a superpower? How do you stop a nuclear power? How do you stop the most powerful nation in history? The only way It's counseling. I told you. It's only counseling. They should hire me. You can't beat them. You can't beat them. Are you going to go and spank Trump? Good luck with that one. Or Israel? You can't. The only solution is by solution. They should come and meet me. I had a vision for this, but maybe some other person is more qualified to have this type of conversations with them. Because I must say, people like Putin and the Chinese leader, they know what it's like to be invaded. They know what it's like, so they think twice when they do things. But America is not. That's why Trump can come out and threaten one of the oldest civilizations in the world. Because it doesn't have any, who is going to stop him? Who can tell him what to do? Good luck with that one. And if he does what he wants to do, let's say he does, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If he decides to even nuke Iran today, what is China going to do? China is going to sacrifice itself for Iran. They won't. Although they might think, except they think that if we don't do anything about it, we will be next. That will be the only reason, not because they want to sacrifice themselves for Iran. This is getting very, 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 very dangerous. And some people believe this was the plan all along. I'm going to find that video of someone. This is more of on the realm of esoteric and prediction-based thinking, that the plan was to force. Let me see if I can find it, because it's very, very interesting, that discussion. But in the meantime, I will be playing some of the videos of the headlines of what is going on, so that we have an idea of different points of view of how people are reacting to these events, because this is not a normal situation. The superpower of the world is threatening to wipe out the civilization, where they are using the word nuclear weapon as if it's nothing now. This type of stuff is not your usual discourse, and it's not flippant. People think this is a joke. These things could spin out of control fast. We are talking here, 2 days later, we could all be living in a totally different world. In short, 6 hours from now, it could be totally different. I think it's 11 minutes past the deadline now. So let me see what is going on outside the deadline. This is 11 minutes past the deadline. So let's see whether they decided that they're going to start, ripping the world to pieces. Trump pledges to stop bombing Iran for 2 weeks. Oh, look at that. Breaking news. Let me read breaking news. Let me read breaking news. There's breaking news going on right now. All right. Yeah, Trump has said that he pledges to stop bombing Iran for 2 weeks. That is crazy stuff, man. The president said the agreement was made on the condition that Iran agreed to reopen the critical Strait of Hormuz. Let's read. This is interesting. The world, this is not over by a long shot. And why Iran would accept it is a mystery to me. I don't know how true this is, but I will need to share the information so that some people can see, so it doesn't look like I'm just making this up. Let's see. Say US to suspend bombing. Let's see. Let me get this. I'll get the information for you guys to see. Let me see if I can copy the link. Download. I don't want to download it. I just want to show you guys the information. Actually, what's the point of downloading it? I just share it. This system that I'm using, it doesn't allow me to, you know, share video the way I prefer to share video, you know. So backs down again. Oh God, people are wicked. People need to stop doing this, you know. I need to talk about it. This is another evil thing that people do. They should really stop taunting Trump. They are trying to kill us all, or what? Trump is not an ordinary man. Trump is the leader of the most powerful country in the world. It's not an ordinary man. Stop taunting him. This is stupid. Why do people do that, actually? That's just evil. The guy is a megalomaniac, and you're taunting him. You want him to kill us all? All right, so now let me see if I can play the video. So sorry guys, this system, I told you this system is a bit jumpy. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of capture the video and play it, because if I try to share it, it's just being weird. I don't know why it's doing that really. It's just, let me try to, I'll try to share it again, maybe to play better this time. I don't know why it does that. It's just strange behavior. It's not normal. It just does that regularly. Okay, now play it. If I try to play it, I hope it doesn't lose it. Yeah, this is a StreamYard issue. This is not my issue. This is something that StreamYard mean. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play other videos. Then I'll get that video so I can play it from inside, because the way it's doing right now is just being really, really strange with me. I'm not trusting the system anymore. You know, for once, I actually like it. I'm beginning to think that the Windows is not so bad now. So now let's see what this stuff is doing.
A state that Donald Trump has won three times, but it looks to me that Roy Cooper, the former governor of the great state of North Carolina, has a real shot here. Look at the Kalshi prediction market. Chance Cooper, the Dem, actually wins this race. His chances have gone way up. Back on October 7th, if it was 63%, of course, that was 6 months ago. Now, look at this. An 86% chance to flip a Senate seat in a state that Donald John Trump won by 3 points, and he is the clear favorite at this point, the former governor.
Now, we call a chance for a Democratic breakthrough, right?
Yes.
But I do want to point out is there have been Democrats in the Senate from North Carolina before, fairly recently, but maybe I'm dating myself here.
I think you're dating yourself a little bit here, Mr. Berman. Why do I say that? Because, in fact,
We're bringing some breaking news that's coming out of the United States. These are lines that are coming from the Reuters news agency. We understand that Donald Trump is quoted as saying that he has agreed to suspend bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. Now, this is following a request that was made by Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who had requested an extension of the deadline that Donald Trump had originally set in order for further talks to take place. Donald Trump is apparently quoted to have said that this will be a decided ceasefire. He may well be referring to a request that had been made by the Pakistan Prime Minister to Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz for a corresponding period of 2 weeks as a goodwill gesture. The other lines that we're getting through Reuters saying we have received a 10-point proposal from Iran. We believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of the past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran. He then goes on to say, we are very far along with a definitive agreement concerning a long-term peace with Iran. I want to go to Osama bin Javid, who's our correspondent, who's joining us here in the studio. It was only just a matter of minutes ago that you and I were discussing the possibility of this ceasefire being put into place. And there was a lot of speculation it was coming too late. You described it as a last-ditch effort by the Pakistan Prime Minister in order to try to get some sort of negotiation. It does seem as though, if these lines are to be believed, that it has had a positive response from Donald Trump.
Well, it does indeed, and I think that is going to be a big sigh of relief collectively from the region and beyond, because the alternative was so horrific. As you've seen Donald Trump time and again talk to his social media base and take the rhetoric to a notch where everybody would essentially, there was the level of anxiety around the region was extraordinary in the last few hours. And Donald Trump was the only man who could defuse it, because he's the one who lit the fuse in the first place. Those words, the first post about using swear words on the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, and then saying that he's going to wipe out an entire civil